Hello, and welcome to our show, Midwest Weekly, starring myself, Hairwiz, and my co-host, Clt. We are here to give you a recap of Week 5's action across the Midwest Sweat League Spring Split. So yes, indeed, we are here. Week 5 is finished. We are currently moving into tiebreakers now, and I do want to say again to anybody that has suffered from the confusion of how we're doing tiebreakers to split, I do apologize. We will make sure moving forward that it certainly does not happen again in future splits. With all that being said, we have had one tiebreaker played so far. That is between Instinct and Coin Flip. We will talk about it today on the show. And then that group, I should clarify, Group A's tiebreakers are only going to be one game, and they're not going to be multiple due to the fact that that group is only deciding seeding. They are not deciding who makes it into playoffs. For Group B and Group C, there are playoff actual implications on whether or not teams are going to make it. For reference, Group B is UAFS, For Fun, and Cal Poly Division 2. So those three right now are duking it out in series. It's going to be each of them playing one series against each other. Whoever then ends up with the either best series record or best match record or best average time will be the team making it in. And then I can show you Group C here real quick. Group C has Scorch, Vancouver, Impact Challengers, and Froggy Style also all doing the same. The only difference here is that group actually has two available spots for playoffs, that being the 2 seed and the 3 seed. So those will be going on between Thursday and Saturday to my knowledge. We will probably be streaming some of them, if not all of them. We'll definitely see. But we will talk about, as I said, about the one tiebreaker played on Tuesday. So today, just because we might as well knock it out, we can discuss it. And then, of course, all of Week 5's action. We only had 9 total series because there are multiple forfeits here. So let me jump over to Week 5 real quick. So yeah, we will be only touching on 9 plus the one game played between Instinct and Coin Flip. With that all being said, I figured now would be the time to ask my co-host CLT how his week has been going and how his day is. Shall we?
Day's been great. Work's not too bad, and yeah, week is the week. Nothing catastrophe happened.
Nice. No catastrophic events. We always are
Nope,
happy
nope.
to hear that. I know some people have been dealing with some crazy stuff, tornadoes and life-changing events.
Uh,
It's been a wild couple of weeks for some other members of the league. So hopefully everyone's doing well. Uh, but yeah, glad to hear it's going good.
uh-huh.
With that said, the last thing I'll say before we jump into this first game is Battlefy had an update, guys. It looks kind of slick, kind of like it. I like blue, and so that's probably
It
why I like
looks
it.
sleeker, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that brings. I don't know if that brings other options or anything. But with that said, let's dive into the first series here, which is Coin Flip versus Solace and Endeavor Esports. And did you by chance get to catch this series? I don't remember if you. I think someone else casted it. I want to say.
Uh, our pies casted this one, and I caught a little bit of it. A majority of game one I caught, but then I could not catch game two. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, I do see that we have Rusty subbing in the jungle here.
Yes, Rusty was subbing, and it looks like Solis had Corona subbing in again as well. Corona Express. It looks to be a pretty tightly contested game. I mean, score is 19-15 in kills. So I'll pull that up while you kind of talk a little bit about the series. Then CLT, I'll let you take it off.
Yeah. So this series was pretty big for coin flip overall, just to maintain like a grasp in the top of the group here. And with Rusty subbing in a jungle, Brandino decided to go top, which was the role he played last split. So no shocker that he did very well there. And also the fact that you let this man have Shen after 4 buffs is kind of crazy in my opinion. But I will say that we don't play enough on this Urgot. He fought back against Brandino Shin, which is not something many people can say they've done. They were trading solo kills back and forth, and it was a very, very competitive game, almost from the word go. Once laning started, I think Brandino got an early solo kill, but then we don't play enough. I think once he hit level 6, he got a solo kill back. But the I mean, the couple of standouts that I seen watching this was Pirate King's really liking the Swain, and he's playing it like super well. I think he's the only one consistently pulling it out. But Krieger's Hui was also really stood out really well. You know, overall, I think Coin Flip did did very well. They were going back and forth, but this game was freaking bloody, and it came down to Rusty getting a 50-50 on Elder, and they ended up winning that fight that ended this game. But we had our first pentakill as a split in this game as well.
Nice. Well, I'll have to look at both those clips then. I will say I don't think this game was as bloody as you say it to be. Maybe it was bloody in the top lane based on what you're telling me right now with the solo kills going back and forth. But um, I mean, it was a pretty low score game for an Elder game. So only
I mean,
that's less than or is it a little more than a kill a minute maybe? Or hold on.
yeah.
Uh, that's not. I don't think that's crazy. I mean, that's certainly not a low score game, but a kill game. But it's not gnarly bloody. So
I had a lot of respect for Solus actually after this game because they were not afraid to fight coin flip. And we all know coin flip is obviously they love the brawl as well. They just like the brawl when it favors them. And Solus just didn't back down at all in this game. There was a couple of decent arrows from Ash going cross map, and there was a couple of really solid team fight. Like with Solus would win a team fight, coin flip felt like they won the next one, and they were trading back and forth quite
yeah.
evenly throughout this whole game
Speaking
until
of Ash arrows, there's a funny Ash arrow around like 16 minutes or so where it hits Bori randomly in the jungle.
yeah.
That was pretty hysterical.
What
Do you have the clip of that the pentakill or where it's at for me?
uh I can it basically ends the game.
Okay, so I just
So
gotta
let
find.
me
So it happens around Elder, then no, right?
32 minutes is kind of the start of the elder posture and fighting.
Okay, I'll just let it play here at 31. But what was your question?
Um
What were you gonna ask?
What is, as the resident jungler of this group here, what's your thought on this Rumble jungle? Because I know you've seen it in the past with guys like Owls, who really love to play it and specialize in it, but um, just what's your overall opinion of it?
I think it's looks decently strong right now. I mean, I don't think it's OP or anything, but as far as AP jungle picks, I do think it's something that if you're interested in playing, it's not bad to pick up. Um, I don't think it's like again OP or anything. Depending on what you go, Conqueror or Dark Harvest can determine your ability to fight and skirmish. Really, I think Dark Harvest is nice against like teams without much beefiness, but I think Conqueror is better against the booster type champions in the jungle, and you could actually probably fight decently well early with it. But yeah, I mean he is an objective king, so I think if you want to play the champion in the jungle because you want to play around objectives, which is what a jungler does already, I think it's a great pick for that. But yeah, it's nothing unique as far as into Amumu. It should beat the Amumu early, but Amumu's a team fight god, so it's kind of an interesting matchup for sure.
I also like I don't know for the life of me, and I will be willing to say that I'm wrong here. I feel like Bloodletter's Curse on Rumble is an absolute bait. Like it doesn't. I feel like it just does nothing because Rumble's E shreds like somewhere in the ballpark of like 50 to 60% armor when you land both of them. And then it just devalues the bloodletter shred. Or if you land bloodletters on somebody, like open up with a flamethrower and then hit them with an E, it just devalues the E. Like it doesn't math out that way because it's multiplicatively, it's not additive when it comes to percentage. So I'm very curious. I don't play Rumble, but it seems like I always see bloodletters on this champion, and I just don't understand why.
Mm.
So I don't. I'm very curious to hear if anybody catches this and wants to flame my take,
No,
or at least explain it
I
to me.
think
But
blood letters is not a really great item if you ask me.
I agree.
It's fine in some circumstances, but I can't imagine too many champions that really want to build it. I don't know, man. It's a strange item. Like the premise seems like a great idea, right? It's supposed to be the black cleaver of the AP world, but man, it just I don't know. Every time I see the item, I feel like the team that picks it up loses. So that tells me everything I need to
Agreed.
know about the item at this point.
Yeah, it's like, and I think I said it like it was a week 2 or week 3 cast uh when they buffed blood letters. I think the first time where it's like, if you buy blood letters and like say something as like a triple AP comp, blood letters is actually devaluing the Crypt Bloom or Void Staff that the other champions are getting because they do percentage pen as well. And
Yeah,
similar to the interaction with Rumble E, it's like if you're cleaving their MR and then someone buys Void Staff to then cleave through the reduced MR, you're just, why did you build Void Staff at that point? Like I don't it looks great on paper. I was super excited for it to get released. But outside of like a single AP threat that has like like percentage health magic damage, which the only one that comes to mind for me is Acel with his Q pop. I feel like Bloodletters is a bait across the board. Like I think it's terrible.
yeah, it's definitely not optimal. With that said, though, I think that game one was from what I've seen is a pretty good looking game, and yeah, that pentakill was really nice by Aristotle. Though our first pentakill, of course, has to come with Elder Drake. I'm not devaluing the pentakill, but when is the first pentakill without an Elder Drake gonna happen? I'm looking forward to that. Um, Get not devaluing, because my boy Aristotle, he be doing some work down there in AD. It's got to feel pretty good. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and jump into game two here, though. And I know you said you didn't catch as much of this game, but this game again looks pretty tightly contested by both teams. A 33-minute game, so similar to the last one. A little more kills in this one. I mean, definitely over a kill a minute. Uh, Looking at it though, I mean, you're seeing Rusty get a very comfortable pick for himself with the Sejuani. Nothing unusual there. Bori obviously was subbed in for this series as well, and he played Janna the previous game. This game he's on the Karma, so it seems like Bori might be an Enchanter support player, which is so strange to think about for a guy who's known for getting in there and doing damage. You'd think he'd want to play the Alistars or the Leonas or something. So very reserved there. Maybe the team wanted him to play that stuff. And then Solus pulling out the Nasus of all things here for We Don't Play Enough. That's pretty exciting. And then going for a standard kind of scaling comp there on the bot side with the Jinx Nami. And then your favorite champion, Vex, made an appearance again. And yeah,
Bro,
so what?
bro, why do you R1 Vex when you see Victor? I don't get this at all. Ugh. Yeah, everybody knows my opinion has been very public on Vex. I think it's the worst champion in the game. I'll reiterate that. But into Victor, it's like I don't understand where that value comes in at all.
Could not tell you much about it because I just know that you can't stand Vex, and I don't think Vex is a bad champion. You just hate her, so that's about it.
I,
Um, my
Merc treads, like you first back Merc treads, and then all of a sudden you just win every lane against Vex. Like,
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, she still brings some value. I mean, you got to remember the resets are pretty nice. If you can get them in team fights, can be pretty
what's she
broken.
resetting off of? It's Karma Sivir
I
with a
mean,
Sejuani in front. Like she's not resetting.
okay, that's probably true in this game, but at the
Like,
same but at the same point, like that's not 100% either. So
I mean, like she has a very niche thing. She's very well. I actually quoted I was in favor of a Vex pick earlier in the split when it was against like a Xerath. Because she just builds glass cannon, and whenever Xerath ults, he reveals himself on the map for a second every shot, and then Vex just runs at him, ults him from long distance, and one shots him. Like there are champions that Vex likes to play against. Poke Mage is one of them. LeBlanc, Yasuo, Yone, but again, you just buy Merc treads and you're instantly outscaled. I just I don't like it. I
Well,
don't like it at all.
you heard it here first, folks. CLT hates Vex. Uh, yeah,
It's not heard it here first. You've heard it many times.
yeah. Only for the 700th time from this guy.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, but I do know there's a crazy clip in here somewhere of NASA's just not dying, and I'm trying to find it right now. Uh,
No- Note at 6 minutes, Vex is already down 15 CS.
oh my god, this guy. I can't find the NASA's clip, and I'm looking everywhere for it. When does it happen? Is the real question. At some point in this game, Nasus has this crazy fight, and it's near Baron side, but it's like in the mid lane. So if you can skim through and find that, it'd be really dope. I wanted to
I
show
will
the
be looking
viewers.
for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see him, but I cannot locate it. Because I know that was like one of those turning points in the game. I have an inside source that showed me the clip. Obviously, it's not truly inside. Uh, I was talking to one of the coin flip guys, and they showed me the clip and was just like, "Look at this stuff. This was ridiculous." It's so funny. Um, I
I
don't
mean, I've
remember.
seen I've seen Nasus get ganked like 3 times just skimming through this, and he's still up like 10 CS. So, um, yeah, still trying to look for it, but it looks like yeah, coin flip took this game. They had a sizable lead here at 15 minutes, up 6K gold, 2 dragons here. So I think if you're the Sivir Victor comp, getting the first 2 dragons is really, really nice here. You hit the mid game super hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the comp is a super hard scaling comp for coin flip here. Now don't get me wrong. I think Solus scales decently well with the Jinx, but the problem is Nasus eventually gets to a point where he gets kited, and I just don't see Lilia or Vex, like you said, bringing enough value here, and they don't scale as hard. I mean, Lilia scales decently well. I shouldn't say she doesn't scale, but Vex certainly doesn't. I know she falls off. So it's one of those things where like if this game goes late, which it did, I do favor coin flips comp a lot, unless you get some crazy 5 man sleep into like a big burst onto like one of the main targets, like Victor or something, and then Jinx just starts resetting. Then it's a different conversation for sure.
Yeah, it just feels like Solus's comp really at no point in time can ever threaten Victor Sivir with like Enchanter Karma behind. And I will give props to Bori building the fairly early anti-heal into stuff like Lilia, Nami, Nasus. Like it's a deceiving amounts of heal. I think I found your clip. Was it in their base?
No, it was it was in mid lane, happening towards Baron side.
Oh, Solus does end up having a really decent base defense here and ends up taking a dragon here at around the 23-minute mark.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like this game was very very close. Multiple times you see Solus down. Like the inhibitor, they're down a couple turrets. By their Nexus. Like I think Nexus even exposed at one point, and they're able to fight back a bunch. But in the end, I mean, the comp just like I said for coin flips got to a point where it scaled up. They're also up a bit of gold here throughout the game as well, so it's pretty hard for them to play. I wonder if it's this fight here at 27 minutes that it happens.
Just came up to this fight as well.
I feel like this is it. Kind of looks like it. And if this is the clip, then it's kind of hilarious to see this Nasus. I think you're seeing it.
Oh Lord. Oh man. Oh my Lord, that Nasus Q on the Krieger.
So this is the one. Is it like 28 minutes? I still
Oh
haven't seen it.
my. Please tell me you sent this to Mono.
I didn't send nothing to anybody. I mean, people can send it to Mono. They're
Oh
more than welcome
my
to.
Lord. We need to like Mono needs to enter a like a Trick 2G Decane. off of this team fight, because holy
Okay, yeah,
shit.
this is it. Yeah, this is it. I saw the clip and it was baffling. Dude's at like freaking 19 HP and it's just not dying. He's like, I refuse to die. Aristotle flashing in, just getting caned down, bro. I'm like, oh my god. There's no possible way. And like it saved the game at that point for Solus. Like the game's over, and then all of a sudden it's just not. It's like, oh wait, our Nasus lives. He killed everybody. We can. I feel like they should have Baron though. I think they should have sent one back, and they should have just sent Baron. Looking back at this clip, had enough HP on the carries. Sure, the Nexus turret was gonna die, but it was gonna die regardless because Nasus didn't reset. And to be honest, I don't even think you need. I don't think you need both Jinx and Vex there. You probably just send Vex back, have Jinx and Nasus hit the Baron, and you're just fine.
Yeah, I could agree with that though. I think Nasus is probably the primary one you want to go back because he has TP and then Ghost coming up after TP. So, um, yeah, I do. I think you send it on Baron here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean Rusty was basically dead. If he wants to try to steal, I mean he's probably going to die for the steal at best. At worst, he just walks in and gets slapped one time by Nasus and is literally gone. So it's very interesting to
Pick.
me. But this looks like the turning point of the game. Like this is where they could have won the game. I think if they just get the Baron, like they get the Baron, they're getting all this gold on the map for sure. They're getting back into the game. They've got first setup for Drake without issue because they have Baron. Um, and I don't really know what led to this macro decision except for hey guys, base is falling. But I think you just got to be patient there. Like there's nobody that can backdoor there. The Camille was dead. The Victor was dead, so there's no TP ability, and the Sivir was dead. So you had Bori and Rusty Crow.
Yeah. Also, like off this back, you've got Nasus at 5 items. So even if Brandino threatens the back door, like Nasus can easily chip away at her.
Yeah,
It's just the only thing is neither one has anti-heal, so it just becomes a long-standing fight of who does more damage. Which if I see this, yeah, Nasus has almost 700 stacks at this 30-minute mark, so it's safe to say I think he actually at this point has outscaled Camille.
yeah,
Not outscaled, but he's definitely got more in the pocketbook.
yeah. And then
But
we see Brandino make a really slick play, backdooring, getting two inhibitors here at the 30.5 minute mark. I mean, that's just like that looks like that was what ended the game pretty much because then the pressure was too much to come back from. With them getting Heztech Soul and probably I presume Baron afterwards. I'm sure we could check through a little bit more and find out.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what
still looks like
happens.
a very entertaining series.
Yeah, very entertaining and very close, and unfortunately just didn't result in the victory that Solus wanted. Want to say thanks to them again for playing this split. They were a phenomenal team to watch. But congratulations to Coin Flips. You made the playoffs and whatnot. So let's jump into Femboy's Instinct though. So this one was kind of I don't want to say a complete shocker, but definitely not how we thought Instinct season was going to end in the regular season. That is, as they did end up dropping a series here.
Yeah, this was a very like it's a very pivotal series, but I think that the thing that made it feel I don't want to say let down, but it just kind of was like hard feels bad was the fact that both of them had subs in the mid lane. Um, so that part was not disappointing, but it was hard to see that like both teams in this pivotal matchup weren't at full strength, but you know, scheduling is something that everybody has to fight with. Looking at the draft, though, the thing that kind of stood out here when I was casting this game was this Swain versus Trundle in the top lane. We've seen Arctic bust out this Trundle before, but I think Inferno, with the Swain pick, even though it didn't look great at the beginning, and he definitely got solo killed quite a bit in the side lane here, it just eventually the Swain gets to a point where he just lifesteal drain tanks the Trundle damage, and they both just sit there with really not much going on. Um, so Trundle was able to like stop the I'm sorry, Swain was able to stop the Trundle push. a few times, but I think overall, don't don't ban Yasuo on this Jax, man. He made so many plays around this map early. I got an early 2 kills there that kind of just started to snowball this game instantly. Avalon got super far behind on Maokai, and Maokai from behind just doesn't do the same. And I honestly, like, I don't know if it's a comfort pick, but Maokai doesn't feel like the champion he was, say, last split in the jungle here.
Yeah, I think
So,
from what I've kind of seen of Maokai personally, I think it's still a playable champion in the jungle. Like, I don't think you should just go, oh, let's not play Maokai. What I think is it requires a good comp around it, and some of that is probably just not uber winning lanes, but definitely not losing lanes. Um, I think here you kind of have okay lanes for that. So I feel like he should be fine in theory because everything looks pretty much stale, so he can kind of break it open in any spot he goes. But in the Jax, I'm not sure. Like maybe the Jax just eventually just out clears the jungle. You know, he just got the better clear speed as the game progresses, and the Maokai can fall behind quick. But also, I mean, you're not dueling a Jax, so that's definitely not happening. You don't want 2v2s if you're the Maokai. I don't even think you want 3v3.
yeah. Yeah, especially because by the time the 3v3 ended up getting posture, Jax had 2 kills and a Sheen under his belt.
Yeah,
So
you
it
want
was tough.
you want to look for disadvantages basically at every gank if you can, or at every kind of fight. Um, that way you're able to slowly outscale the Jax as long as he's not getting free ganks off other places. That's basically the what you're hoping for there. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, Maokai's in a weird spot. I don't know. The champions is not bad as a jungler, but he's definitely not what he used to be. If you're gonna play tank, just play Sejuani probably at this point.
Well, I feel like though if you're going the like Leanders first in like AP, isn't it just better to play Zac or
Amumu.
Lilia or Amumu or Udi
Yeah,
or
so that's the other thing I like to bring up about Maokai. Thank you for reminding me. I hate that Maokai build, by the way. I just think Maokai going tank is better. I don't know. Maybe that's just to me because I like tank builds more, and you could even see me play a Mumu without the without without that AP early build. I just like being a tanky, and I think you just provide more. Like, sure, you can bring some damage, which is nice, but when you're playing those champions, I don't think you need damage to win the game. I mean, assuming you draft properly, you should have damage in other places. It's fine. Like, I feel like if you want a damage type AP jungler, then you're gonna draft something different in your lanes, like the Ashe, for example. Um, and you're gonna go a hard AP champion in the jungle, maybe with another hard AP champion in the mid that can like scale super hard and be your major DPS. I just don't see the Maokai being that answer though.
looking at how like the game ended up playing and kind of the rest of the draft that Instinct has, I thought this was a really super free Sejuani game because like you're given your backline in Syndra Ashe, like some more beefiness. You survive a lot of burst for the most part because Femboy's comp is it's not high damage, but it's not like super bursty either. It's like it's decent consistent damage. So Galio has a chance to react and dive on the Sejuani to turn a fight. But also Sejuani plus a melee top and like Trundle, who can just run down this Swain any chance he gets in a side lane. The proc Sejuani passive just it feels like that completes the draft a lot more than what this Maokai ended up doing.
All I gotta say is I just watched Arctic pull up on Inferno and Inferno disappeared. That's all I gotta
Yeah.
say. Holy moly, Arctic. It sucks that you're popping off and then you end up losing this. This just feels horrible, brother. Oh man, that's nice though, dude.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's I like it. I like the trundle, man. Show me some more.
Yeah. I think this is the second or third time he's played at this split,
I don't. Has he
actually.
even played that many times? Maybe.
He's played it. I know of one other time he's played it.
Well, it looks good here. That's all I gotta say. It
Hmm.
looks good here into the Femboys.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
how do we feel about the subs here? Optima and Marika. I think Optima is their sixth man. I want to say for Instinct. Uh,
Yeah, I had not seen Optima uh play, so I felt like he held he held his own. Rurika, I mean, as long as he's not on Fizz, I think he's okay. So, no, Rurika put a lot of pressure on him in the early game, so the lanes went kind of how you expected. It was
Gotcha.
just, Syndra got to late game and tried to create some opportunities, but Jax got ahead and couldn't really get close enough to Corki. So, but again, that
Yes.
that could be just the whole thing of the draft as well, because again, you got nothing to hide behind.
Yeah, I also think the comp struggles to allow the split push to happen there for the Trundle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, not enough wave clear.
need something stronger. Yeah, either wave clear and just better 4v4, I think.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I mean, game one does look like a very highly contested game between both teams, but in the end, Femboys was able to pull it off. What about game two? Did you see anything here from game two?
Game two, was a little bit of a different story because we seen Instinct. They put off. I'm sorry. They came prepared to play this game. Optima, I don't know anything about him, but if you're locking Katarina into a competitive like team environment game, you got to be really freaking good at her, and he pretty much was. Like he got kills all around the map, even solo killed Rurika on the Annie. Yes, I said that correctly. Rurika played Annie and got solo killed by this Katarina.
Well, here's something
Um,
I gotta say. I don't think we're gonna see Katarina again for a long time, just because not the result of this game, but because Katarina is a very volatile champion. Generally, it's played in solo queue for a reason and not in competitive. Pretty cool to see though. Our first Katarina probably almost ever. I can't think of one I can ever recall in the last four splits that I've partook in, and this being the fifth now. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I mean,
Annie mid is kind of up there too, to be honest. But it is being played now in competitive, so I can't really say it's like that strange to see at this point.
look, I when they picked the Katarina, and then I got past the whole oh shit, it's a Katarina. If you actually look at the team comp she's against, it's not the worst spot to pick an AP or any type of assassin. Like you could have slotted Fizz in there, you could have slotted, like a mid lane Diana, anything that just has a truckload of damage you can put in there. So I thought it was a really solid spot. Um, and this game kind of showed it to a degree. Like she got off the ground, she got to her Nashers early, um, got a full stack Magi's there, but then it felt like they didn't they didn't have enough tools to like finish a game, and I felt like some of the deaths were like a little disjointed because once the Sivir Yumi started to scale up, it was like they couldn't stop it. They couldn't kill it. They couldn't do anything with it. You can see kind of an example of this at around 17 minutes, where Jarvan goes in and catches it with Tristana free firing, and this Yumi Sivir just shrugs it off like it's nothing.
Yes, the
So
classic Yumi Sivir comp. It's just so
uh,
freaking
that
fun
was
to
a
play against.
that was a B1 Yumi, my friend.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, even if you go past like leader into the 17-minute mark, when they forced Optimus Flash and just basically ran down this 4-0 Katarina with upgraded boots, by the way, feats of strength boots.
This is gonna sound crazy, what I'm about to say, but I think you need Serpent's Fang on this J4 early on.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I don't think
It just
that's
feels
that bad.
so bad to build here, but like as like the
Yeah.
J4 itself, it's not the build you're running with. You're trying to go for a more bruiser build, and now you're forced to buy Serpent's Fang. But like, man, you need to cut these shields somehow. It's either that or you need to freaking just send Blitzcrank even into a bad matchup into Sivir or something, just so you can walk up and click R. Oh man, that's so sad. But yeah, I mean, Katarina looks like she got off the ground. I do agree. She really only had to worry about the anti stun, right? I mean, everything else was like really not that terrifying for her to deal with.
Mhm.
She
Yeah,
has
yeah.
a blink on her ability to her dash is a blink, right? So the rocks will not stun her. Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. So yeah, I see the
Correct.
angle. It does suck that unfortunately it did not work out for Instinct here, but they tried as they might, and
Well, if they
sometimes
if
it's not their
they
day.
if they all jumped on a backliner, like take the 19-minute fight where Don Don had just an insane turn, by the way. Like this snapping gauge when they're posturing running
What was
away
what was that?
was
What was the time? I'm sorry.
1915 was kind of the
Okay.
start of the posture.
Okay. Okay.
Um, you can see where like if they dogpile onto the back line, they can cut through this Yumi's healing and shielding. Um, but they just didn't have enough opportunities to make those type of plays. So, Instinct, I mean, they got to third dragon, they got the Otacon, they got feats of strength, like every metric that you would look at on a game, they ended up getting, but they just still feel like they couldn't win a game, whether it be like Rurika just snap stunning somebody and then Sivir guns them down, or just Sivir wave clear was hard enough to push into when you have a mid like Katarina. Like you have virtually no wave clear on this Instinct CK side.
Annie trying to solo kill the Katarina. The Katarina's just clicking the R. It looks so funny.
Yeah.
Like that's all Katarina did. Rika walked up, was like hello, and then just got R'd and died.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Honestly, from what it looks like, don't put this guy in any Fizz or Ari. Honestly, holy moly, it's looking kind of rough here.
Yeah. I will cut him a touch of slack on the RE game. He did get camped, but he definitely tried to make a lot of plays there. Yeah. But 1-7. Yeah. Come on, bro.
Looks like he came back in this game though, so he's making
He did.
progress.
He did.
I
I did.
I gotta see this comeback because man, they were actually only down 2K, but man, the kill differential is crazy. So I'm what was it, like 28
uh
minutes when the game ended, or
25 minutes was a pretty good play overall. Donban Yasuo had a really good Weaver's Wall coming out that sectioned off some of them from the push.
and
And
Arctic,
then
dude, Arctic had a series by the way. My boy Arctic was popping off between his
uh-huh.
Ornn and his Trundle, like he was doing work. So he should feel certainly good about that. It wasn't his fault they lost. Eclipse looked like he was having a really nice game too. Really, Instinct just looked good. Like they just don't look bad here, and it's crazy to lose this game. Like what? Really, this whole series this way. It kind of feels rough.
Hmm.
But I mean, yeah, I'm watching that 25-minute one here. It looks like Katarina tries to go in, gets caught for it, and then Arctic TP's in and just kind of sadly ends up dying for free because team can't follow up.
There's another one at 28 minutes where again it was a pretty big Weaver's Wall where it felt like Instinct was a little disjointed on do they pull the trigger on the turn or not, and they just couldn't get enough damage out to threaten Mac, and then just kind of snowballed some kills from there, and that's what ended up being the team fight that ended the game ultimately.
Yeah, I see the catch on the Katarina once again. Really nice tippers engaged there from Marika, and then oh yeah, that's a really nice weave as well. I think if Katarina is up here, it's a different fight. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. But well played there by Femboys to pull it back from the depths, and I'm kind of curious what that rematch has in store for us tomorrow, CLT. But before we get into that, we might as well jump into the tiebreaker match because there's nothing else to talk about here in Group A, as unfortunately it was a forfeit there by Royal Rogue. So Ninja Turts, all hail my Ninja Turts! They got their victory in a forfeit, but they still got it. Greatest 1-4 team of all time. Anyways, praise my Ninja Turtle statue at home. Yeah, let's jump into the tiebreaker game real quick, shall we? The first of the upcoming couple here for this group.
Yeah. So not long after Arctic had this really insane Trundle game, they let him get Trundle again. So, which I thought was again interesting that they showed Trundle, Azir, and Coinflip picked Malphite, but Matthias on his Malphite, he he put up a really big fight here. Like he made it seem like Malphite actually has a world where he can play into Trundle quite a bit. Um, he had a really standout game. Brandino ganked the shit out of Arctic as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Do,
every chance he got.
do not let the Malphite fool you. Malphite is broken right now. Like he's very strong. Like when I say broken, he's not like giga broken, but he's just really really strong. He's a S tier top laner at the moment. So matchups where he would do poor in, I feel like he's just doing okay in at the moment because of it, and it's playing making him more of a playable top laner into like most top lanes because of what he provides throughout the rest of the game. But he doesn't beat Trundle unless maybe he goes AP one shot. Even then, I don't think it happens.
Well, I think it was. Uh, I gotta be like a little honest because like Brandino did put a lot of resources into this Malphite, and I just like there was props to Matthias on just how well he utilized these resources. Like he didn't get behind. I think he even solo killed Arctic at one point here. He built the right items that he needed to build in the Bramble Vest, and then went towards the Frozen Gauntlet here. What was W Max Malphite as well? Didn't even try to play like the poke style and waste mana. He just kind of, stood in Arctic's face and just brawled with him. And played that style really, really well. But I think the biggest thing that turned this game was Good Boy on this Azir. Like this dude is just so consistent, and he never feels like he just gets behind. Uh, on any of these picks, he had to grasp of the Undying Azir. He went Leandry's first. He was sidestepping a lot of Krieger's damage in lane and putting a lot of pressure onto him. Um, he just overall he had a really really standout game for me.
Yeah, I mean, Good Boy is certainly one of the best mid laners in the league for a reason, and
Yeah.
always stands out as he's the premier Azir player next to Zema. I mean, those guys are the two that play Azir at such a very high level. Um, and of course, I'm gonna take my mid laner every time, but Good Boy is not like far off the totem pole on that. I mean, these guys are like you could make an argument for them being 1-2 in the league just by how good they certainly can be. But yeah, it's definitely very, very, very impressive to see when he pulls out of his ear. It reminds me a lot of watching some of this type of plays, which is
Mhm.
really fun from a fan aspect.
Yeah, yeah, he had a solid game. Again, the Vi pick comes out, which was a deny from Brandino. Uh, Worked out really well. Geoprow on his patented Elise, he had a lot of effect in this like mid game part, but then you just seen the lack of like a secondary like frontline CC bot to help like lock down Good Boy, or even when Avalon would jump in onto Tristana or Ari, there was just nothing there to like peel her off. So overall, this game just kind of went to the scaling side of Instinct.
Gotcha. Well, I know you had a bit of a hiccup there in the middle of the game. Happy you were able to get through it with that weird bug you had. But yeah, I know you don't
This
want to.
patch,
Yeah,
this patch.
his patch
It's
is monkey apparently. But yeah, I mean, congratulations here to Instinct picking up the first tiebreaker win. That they now jump into the second seed basically, tied with Femboys, and then the winner of that tiebreaker will be the first seed. Loser will be the second seed. So that means Coin Flip does end up finishing, by the way, at 4-1 as the third seed. So pretty crazy there. Let's go ahead then though and jump into the next group, which had two matchups that didn't mean as much, and then, well, I shouldn't say that. No, let me rephrase that. One that didn't have any stakes, one that had some stakes, and another one that ended in a forfeit, which was actually kind of funny that it was. UAFS forfeited against For Fun at 20. So FF at 20 ended up picking up a win in FF. Who would have thunk it? That one actually had a lot of playoff implications, and now is why we are in tiebreakers. Because if UAFS would have won, we wouldn't be here for Group B specifically. But let's jump into the first one, which is going to be the Vibe Check versus Capuchungus Among Us series. And that one didn't have any specific playoff implications. Vibe Check was set at the 2 no matter what they did.
Yeah. So Vibe Check versus KCA. Obviously a battle of two teams that are kind of having opposite seasons. KCA has been competitive in quite a few series, but couldn't find a win. Vibe Check kind of being the top team in this Group B. KCA, though, did kind of tweak around their lineup a little bit. Golden Sunset went top, Campbell went mid, and then Timos and Tickles went bot. Um,
Timo and
what?
Tickle went bot.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. So, they wanted to try out a little bit of a lineup change. My squad actually did happen to scrim against them 2 games just for them to kind of test out this lineup change and feel it out a little bit, because they ultimately do have shown interest in coming back and at least continuing to play competitively. So, I thought for KCA, they ultimately just, they just drafted very passive lanes and did not put much pressure on the map overall. Campbell was kind of the one that stood out on his Veigar. Veigar's not a pick that is that popular, but in the right situations can freely scale, and I think he's actually like a really solid pick into like what Vibe Check drafted. They really didn't have much of a front line, so Veigar could go a lot more damage and pop off. I just think Campbell's build was a little too slow paced. I think if he would have won something like either Roa slash Seraphs, like one of the two, into like a Storm Surge or a pen item, he would have found a lot more success and could have snowballed the game a little bit more. But yeah, Vibe Check just kind of did what they did. You see Boreal and his Nefiri creating hell around the map. Afterpack had a really good lanings phase in the Golden Sunsets Mbessa. I mean, Renekton is kind of one of the known counters to Mbessa, even when she was broken on release. And the Senna Tom Kench lane. It's an old school throwback lane, but into another passive lane like Twitch Pike, like it's perfectly fine. They can't really punish the Twitch that well, and Pike can just go around and cause hell around the map. And that's kind of where we've seen this game go.
Yeah, and Syncart is a sub here, and so is Easy Life, I believe. Right? That's 2 subs there for Vibe Check. So
Correct.
for them to come out here, be able to pick up, even though it's a win against a winless team, mind you, KCL, like you said, still put up great fights. Has looked great throughout the split for a team that can't pick up a win. And that's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles. Like it's the same old thing with Ninja Turtles. Sometimes you just can't do anything bad. It's not in your favor. Though I do think there is a distinct difference in the two teams between Ninja Turtles and KCA. And when I say that, I do think KCA has some time to progress forward in their journey. I think Ninja Turtles truly was just in a really tough Group A. With all that being said, even with that, 2 subs coming into the series for Vibe Check, still picking up a win against a pretty good team, is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah, we can see, from game to game, having casted quite a bit of KCA's game actually. Like they just have made subtle improvements as a team, and feels like every game is a little more competitive than the last one, which is a really good sign for improvement.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I
so
do agree. I would love to see them back, and I know they made their little post in the, I think it was Campbell made his post in the Rec League chat. I am a fan too, man. I would love for you guys to come back.
Oh yeah.
You've been nothing but awesome in the league. A genuine, fun, exciting people. Like that's what you've been. Like even through losing, you guys have found a way to make joy out of this, and that is beautiful. So
Yep.
hopefully next time you guys do come back, it is more in your favor, and you guys have come back improved. I'm ready to take on this league and kick some ass, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, with that said, I'll let you jump into game two and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, game two, uh, pretty similar to game one, though I think KCA even, like I said, put up more of a fight here. We've seen Campbell on his Tristana, which I've been on the receiving end of this pick in a scrim. Um, he plays this, he team fights really well on this. Like you've seen mid laners pick ADC picks and like they just play it for lane and then they scale and then they just right click. Like no, Campbell actually had, in my opinion, he's a really good team fighter on this Tristana. Um, it just felt like they didn't get off the ground quick enough. And again, vibe check opens up the game with a pretty early kill here on the Vi onto Campbell mid, and the game just kind of just keeps snowballing a little bit from there. Um, so overall, not too bad. Campbell did get a solo bolo on the easy life here at about 9:45 mark. Um, when easy life was caught looking at, I think it was a grub fight.
Mm.
So there was some life in KCA here overall, but yeah, vibe check they got ahead. I think this Vi Oriana combo is really really tough to get away from when you only have like a limited escape. Um, Vi R stops any type of dashing that Campbell tries to do, and he just can't get away. So um, yeah, but I mean, again, just to talk again about their improvement, we see here at like the 16-minute mark, they're only down 2k gold, and they actually are up a dragon. So KC came to play the second game and put up a fight. Um, it just ultimately, you know, champions on vibe check just scaled a little bit more, and they just team fought better as a team.
Yeah, and I mean, Vibe Check does have Bori and Afterpack, Relentless. All these guys have been to and or won a championship. So, as far as Easy Life and Syncard, I feel like I've seen both of them in the league before, and so they definitely have some experience playing for teams. Um, so that kind of helps out a bit when you have that experience, and that's why I think KCA, that's what they have to bang on is come back with this roster. Like don't break up, and I think a lot of teams like tend to do that. Stay together, do some scrimming over the summer, get back into shape, man, and just come back and with your experience in this first league, like I think that will help you guys along the way. But yeah, I mean, really, really just happy to have had them, and congratulations to VibeCheck finishing the split 4-1. Certainly not surprised by that at all. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we jump into the next series?
No, no, just happy to see KCA play out the split. They didn't talk about forfeiting. All the teams that I've heard tried to schedule with them. They said they were perfectly fine, no issues. Just nothing but great things out of teams that played or scrimmed these guys. So
Awesome, awesome.
I'm happy to see, like I said, they play out the whole series, and maybe we'll see them again next split.
Yeah, I wanted to say this. Just diving back real quick to Group A because um, I wanted to also say because we said we spoke about Solus, we've now spoke about KCA. I want to again thank Ninja Turtles and Royal Rogues for coming out and playing too, and I feel like me not saying that kind of feels off here, so I wanted to make sure I did do that. Royal Rogues was a fun team to see here. I've got to know their team captain pretty well, a wonderful guy. So hope he's able to either bring the team back or find himself a new team, depending on how that plays out for him and his team. And then obviously Ninja Turtles has Nexus, who's casted for us some. So thankful for him for doing that, as well as just again being a very fun team to watch, being highly competitive and not giving up regardless of what is happening. So just wanted to thank those teams as well. But yeah, let's let's jump into another one that had a lot of playoff implications here because if uh, Bucka John Betts and Cal Poly went the other direction, Cal Poly would actually find themselves in the playoffs right now. So it meant a lot for them, and it also could have found them out of the playoffs completely. So it really was an interesting situation, depending on how things played out. So when you have them losing, that is. But they got a little lucky. Sometimes you got to get a little lucky to get another shot at it. But with that said, let's talk about their series here against Bucket John Betts, CLT.
Yeah, this was a game or a series, I should say, that I didn't really catch much of. But I'm already seeing that Bucket John Betts had a sub here in the mid lane in Evil Troy. I'm not sure if that's their sixth man or not, but playing the Yone versus Azir, it's both lanes are okay with scaling, and Yone can force something on the side lane, but overall they're just fairly even champs. But Gyarados on this Ivern, like I think he's the only one to pull out Ivern jungle this split, and it just seems like he's just getting better and better at this pick. Um,
He's a
'Cause
really interesting jungler, though. I just don't love it in this current meta. Like, I know they're trying to lead us out of this meta, by the way, with the nerfs to Vi, the nerfs to Xin Zhao. We're still in this dive meta, though. We haven't left it. And Ivern really isn't that great into a lot of dive. Like, I guess that's not completely true. He's not bad into a lot of dive, but I think the current dive he's dealing with is kind of a problem. Um, so that's maybe how I should preface it, as well as the fact that is he likes hyperscalers in the bot and or in the mid. Like he wants to put a shield and make somebody OP as hell who's already OP, and that isn't also really where the meta's at. So I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a weird pick in that aspect. But yeah, I mean Gyarados definitely plays it well, and Gyarados is a fantastic jungler. So I'm not like completely knocking the picks. They don't play it. I mean, anything can work if you're good enough at it and know how to play around it. But something strange to
yeah,
me.
yeah. I also felt that this Varus, while like Varus is a really solid pick overall, I know a lot of ADs are playing it. I feel like uh lethality Varus has kind of been like I don't want to say overrated, but it just hasn't produced a lot of wins that I can think of. So I know it has its spots, but I just don't feel like, especially in looking at this game, where everything just kind of wants to be in your face, and they have a frontliner in Shen. I feel like on hit has a lot more value here.
Yeah, it's
Plus,
definitely it's definitely going more in the direction of the on hit. I agree. Like it feels like it's stronger.
I also think that plays around with the champs that you have more. Like you noted that Ivern really loves a hyperscaler. Well, Lethality Varus is not a hyperscaler. I mean, Azir is, but if Azir gets picked off, then Ivern has no one to play through. So it's kind of a secondary carry or primary, depending if you get ahead or behind on it, compared to Azir's state in the game.
Yeah,
So I think it just meshes more with Ivern better.
I think the idea you see a lot with a Ivern pick is you want something like Azir would work fine here. You got the Azir, and then you have them both as backline with Daisy being your front line. You're putting the shields on Daisy and or Azir, right? And just buffing up Azir as the team fight plays out. But again, if Azir dies, like you said, who is your next choice? Well, it's your lethality Varus isn't great because he doesn't really want to stand and hit like that. He wants to poke more and play more at range. Um, but I do think everything else here actually is drafted pretty well with the Ivern. Like you have another tank front line, so you have like the Ornn, then your Daisy, and then everybody else. It's like that setup is nice. But yeah, I do think it's a little rough. Maybe just get something else in support role too might have helped. I don't know. I mean, I think playing like a Meiji support is okay, but I almost wonder if another enchanter would actually be okay too.
I'm
Just
leaning towards that as well.
double shields, one for your Varus, one for your one for your Azir. Like that
Is
sounds
this not
gross.
just like is this not like just a ball or Seraphine angle? Either AP or Enchanter doesn't matter. Like she
Yeah.
just fits it way better to me. And also eyeless glasses. What? I mean,
Was he doing the
bro,
build again? Was he doing the build
Hall.
again?
No, it wasn't Roa. It was Hullbreaker first. Which I'm
This guy's having too much fun with it. He's like,
like,
win or lose does not matter. I want to have fun.
I mean, all the more power to him. And he's picked up some wins on some of these wacky builds, but like your role in the team here is to be this frontline tank. It's not the split push. Like split push does nothing for your team comp here when you have Ivern. Like now you're basically saying that your support has to be the only one in the 4-1 to walk into Fog of War when it shouldn't have even be a 4-1 to begin with. It should be a 5-man group. You front to back it. So I don't know. I feel like Cal Poly might have lost the shopkeeper a little bit here. In the Varus build and the Ornn build.
Yeah. Hey, with that said, I believe it was Eyeglasses that got this internship. I want to say because he's their top laner, right? So Cal Poly just the team captain made that announcement that he got himself an internship. So I want to say congratulations to him on that here live on stream. Give him a big shout out, and that he will be missed because he will not be playing in the tiebreaker games. But yeah, man, we are going to miss the wonky builds regardless. Hopefully, you make a return at some point.
Yeah, yeah, he's got Botswana, who I believe is sub for them in the past, who is will be taking over the top lane role. So maybe we'll see Botswana on some Roa champions as well.
Maybe it was. What I will say, it was a very long game. That Bucket John Betts had to fight to win it. Kind of watching back this soul fight right now, and it starts with the with Gojo getting caught out there, unfortunately enough, and then after that, like you said, the fight kind of just falls apart because the Varus just really can't do enough to carry the fight from here. I think, uh, regardless of being the build, I think too it's kind of hard. So
Yeah.
pretty unfortunate. Mashire though having another nice little performance makes a really proper MVP candidacy here. I think after the week 5 ending for himself. So we'll
hmm
see if he's able to edge that out. I do, like I said, I think there's other people that are really worthy of the consideration. So, but he definitely
Yeah,
is one of them.
he's thrown his name in the hat this
Yep.
season for sure.
Yes, he has. But now, throwing in the hats, let's jump into game 2 and pull it out of the hat. Why don't we? And break that down really quick, and we can actually end out Group B after that.
So yeah, this second game again didn't really get to watch too much of it, but this looks like it was Bucket John Betts from the word go. I already see here at like the 6-minute mark, it's 3 kills to 1. They've already got the combat feats, and it just started to snowball from minute 1 here. Uh, we do see Gojo pulling out his Nico. I think that's the first time he's showcased it this season. But anybody who was with us last season knows the man is definitely really, really comfortable on this Nico pick. Um, and then him and Gyarados played the 2v2 pretty well here, looking at about the 9.5-minute mark. So they showed some life here. And they're overall they're not down too much gold. But looking at yeah, okay, so Bucket John Betts got the first dragon and just started making plays around the map once Pantheon had access to his ult. So
Yeah.
we see a really solid dive bot lane. They invaded, sniped off Gyarados, and then dove the bot lane here. Actually, it looked like that's a pretty clean dive overall.
My only problem here, honestly, that I gotta say for Bucket Jump Bets is I don't like that Pantheon skin, bro. I'm not digging that skin at all. It just looks so ugly on the map. I'm
Wait,
sorry, Abijad. I'm sorry, man.
what skin is that? Is that Golden Aegis?
I don't even know, bro. I can't even tell that's how ugly it is. Uh,
Really? That's what you're gonna hit Ben with?
he's gonna be like,
Okay.
"I'll show you my Pantheon now, boy." No, I
Yeah.
mean he plays phenomenally well every time he plays every week, so I'm not hating on his play by no means. And if that's what he's comfortable on, I mean, hey, that's all good. But I gotta nitpick something once in a while. And that is just
hmm
something I don't like it. I don't fancy that skin at all.
Eyeless glasses, not building row on show. Probably the one champion he picked that you could.
You know what I think it is with that skin? It makes him look like extra small. This is
This
supposed to be
duel.
a Spartan, strong, muscular, big man, you know, and he looks like a little tiny boy in the school ground with his little spear playing around. Like, look at
I,
me.
I'm with you, but they made a Baker skin with this big, muscular
Yeah, but that skin
Spartan.
looks more menacing than that, bro. Baker, he looks like a buff Baker.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you go. So, yeah, 16-minute mark, 10 kills to 2. See the second dragon get taken. Ben kind of getting out of trouble here in the mid lane when he ulted. So, yeah, this game, Bucket John Betts favored from the word go, and it looked like overall they just controlled the map, moved around, took turrets, got some gold, and yeah, Mashire 7-1 and 3 on this. Tristana did really well. So
Yeah, I mean the whole team played really well on Bucket John Betts' side, and Cal Poly they put up a fight, but you could tell that Bucket John Betts is one of the premier teams this split for a reason. So they kind of owned the group more or less and took care of business. They only struggled with UAFS, so when you want to talk about like really being pushed to any sort of limit. So I am looking forward to what this team is able to accomplish here in playoffs as a new team. But they could get the new team curse. So I'll try not to curse them, but it feels like every time we get a new team coming in here looking really strong, they somehow end up failing in the early rounds of the playoffs, and it's like one of those shockers. So let's see if that inexperience in our league matters or not. But we will find out. With that said, though, we will jump into Group C, where there is some experience across this two teams, but unfortunately for us, we didn't get the premier matchup we wanted. As Happy Jellyfish had subs in the top and support. Don filled in for support. Rizzy in the top, and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Five Big Booms might have had a sub too. I don't recall, but
I don't think so.
okay.
No, no, they did not.
Well, then they got out of it. I know they swapped around some stuff with the top laner, but it looks like that is their normal top laner now. Shorty is. Because Shorty used to be the support, right?
I believe so. Yes, I'd have to go back and look, but yeah.
Well,
So
here's what I could tell you about this first game, man. It was a banger this first game because Five Big Booms, they're coming in this game. Obviously, they get to play some of their old nemesis. Oh wait, they're not here, so they're like, darn it. I guess we're just playing for pride at this point, right? Which is cool too. But man, I thought you watch this first game. Early on in this game, you're like, okay, Rarika is gonna take over. There's no chance really for them to do too much. Navis is having some success in the bot lane. Um, but there was one thing that really stood out to me, and I kind of go back and look at it like, why would you pick this? And it might have cost them this game, which was, why are we picking top lane Kaisa? And I just didn't understand it. And then as the game progressed, it didn't do anything really. Like it did some stuff early, got a solo kill here or there, and then Cho'Gath just said, "Oh, you think you can keep solo killing me?" and just would walk up and slap Rizzy, ult him, and it was over in the top lane. And then the Cho'Gath just started to scale, which became very difficult for them to break through this Cho'Gath because he didn't have anything really keeping him down after a certain point in the game. So, and then Salt.
yeah,
Salt was explosive on this Vlad. He had a quadra kill in the base to save the game. I think a triple kill in the base to save the game. Dude was an absolute menace to keep this game and end up pulling out the victory. It was an exciting game one, to say the least.
yeah. I heard that if there was a series to watch this week, um, or specifically a game like this one was very fast paced, and there was. I heard that Five Big Booms was up like 6K, 7K,
No, you got it
and
the other way. It
I'm sorry,
was
Happy Jellyfish was
yes,
up.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'm looking at it at 22 minutes. Yeah, it looks like Happy Jellyfish are starting to run away with this, but I, these team comps that virtually have no wave clear, to help stabilize a game or help fast push after a team fight win, it just you start to see them just they just don't take advantage of good situations good enough. Like I understand, okay, if you're going to play Kaisa top, you need something melee and a little bit beefier. So Rurika has played this in Bessa mid before, um, and has done really well. And I know he got off a couple decent kills here in the early game into Vlad, but you have virtually no targeted CC. Everything is very long animation, and you can easily predict it, like Cocoon or even like Don Don jumping in. So Salt can easily react to anything he can, and there's just nothing stopping this Vladimir from doing whatever the hell he wants. Um, I know he can get chopped down quickly by AD carries, and there's two in the game, but there's nothing keeping him still so they can even right click him. I mean, Vlad has an invulnerability.
Yeah.
So it's just, I look at this team comp and I, I, I see the theory behind it on paper, but I don't like it at all. Like, you have zero wave clear into a Sivir. We just got done talking about how, in the Femboy series, how Sivir can easily outwave clear the other team and prolong a game to the point where Sivir Yumi won that game virtually. So I don't know. I would have probably liked to seen this go get ran back with like Rizzy and Nevis building static shivs just to see if they can help wave clear and stabilize a game after like maybe a bad team fight or a chunk. But
Well, here's the thing, and something you need to know, and I even forgot this happened. They were down triple inhibs on the side of Five Boom Booms. Like they had their whole base was basically broken. Baron was end up being acquired here at 32 minutes. Like I don't I don't think the problem was all that you state if the game is in this state. It just was the fact that the the only one and the biggest one you said was the lockdown. If Vlad gets hit by anything and then is CC'd and blown up, it's fine. But like you said, he can react to pretty much everything on their team except maybe a flash cocoon or a flash Q out of Don Don. Like that's basically what you have to hope he doesn't click W on. But if it's a standard spell looking at you, come on, bro. It's Salt. He's got enough talent to number one do it, but two, it's and I don't think it's that hard to react to. But like I said, Vlad had multiple times. There's a 29-minute fight you can watch over where we held his own, and then I believe around 33 minutes or 32 and a half minutes, I think there's another one about to showcase here where the Vlad just says, "No sir, no thank you, get out of my base once again," and just continued to fight back after every punch that the red team kept throwing at him. And I mean, this was off of another great engage by Don Don, but they can't break it open. And then Vlad just starts doing Vlad things. The quadra kill is insane. So he
yeah,
basically just makes people disappear at 32 and a half minutes, like I said.
I looked at the 30-minute fight, and then I look afterwards. Why the hell does nobody on Happy Jellyfish have anti-heal? It's a 3.5 item, Vlad. Oh, I'm sorry. Rurika sold the Dirk and went Executioner's Blade at 31 minutes. So he even pressed tab and noticed it and was like, what the hell are we doing? Like, how do you not have anti-heal against a Vladimir, especially knowing your team comp has very limited knockdown? He has 11 kills. It's not like this Vladimir is ignorable at this point. Like, I just, that part baffles me. Um, I would borderline call it losing the shopkeeper again. Seems to be the theme of this episode, but just no anti-heal on Vladimir. If you feel like you don't need it, you're probably ahead enough that you should just grab it anyway. Because there's going to be a point where this boulder rolls downhill and there's nothing you can do about it. It's freaking Vladimir.
Yeah, so if you go to 38 minutes or so, you'll see the end of the game pretty much. Rurika gets caught out. They're trying to set up for a Drake. They're still trying
Oh,
to play off these
Lord. That
two.
quadra kill.
Yeah, the quadra kill at 32. But if you go to like 38 minutes and like 15 seconds, you'll see the pretty much how the game ends because it starts with Rurika just disappearing, and then everybody else afterwards disappeared. Mind you, Rurika was like 4-0 at one point in this game, and he finished 5-7. That shows you how useful the Mbessa was as the game progressed. And
Yeah,
here's the crazy part too. They just walk into the base while they're doing Drake, and I was like, I remember recording this, going like, is this really what's about to happen? They're just gonna walk straight into the base, and then they're gonna take a 4v3 and just lose because the Kai'Sa's trying to split push to end the game against a Cho'Gath who could just 1v1 her. It was such an interesting ending of the game, honestly.
yeah. I'm looking at how these comps are fighting here, like 36 minutes, kind of leading up to what you were saying. Like Mbessa, there's no way she ever does anything to Sivir with a Lulu behind her back. Lulu has alternative carries to play against if Sivir does get taken out. Like this comp from Five Big Boons, in my opinion, is just way better. Like
Yeah.
it's just way more stable, even though it lacks like a wave clear AP source because it's Vladimir. You still have it in Sivir. Like it just, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Five Big or Happy Jellyfish's comp here.
The crazy part
Especially,
is they almost won the game. That's the crazy part.
yeah,
So
they have to snowball, and clearly they need to snowball harder than what happened.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'll jump into game two. I'm sure you want to watch that ending that I was telling you about. It's kind of funny. But while you're
Yeah.
doing that, I'll talk a little bit about game two here. So yeah, game two. This was more of a cleaner Happy Jellyfish comp for sure. But I also think Five Big Boons comp was pretty nice. You know, you had Haku on J4, Salt on Lissandra. So you had really nice dive and setup. Salt did really well on the Lissandra, by the way. And then Shanti and RuneScape had Caitlyn, Nami in the bot lane, and the Caitlyn got ahead very early. Um, but they weren't able to transition that well enough to really exploit the game like they wanted to. And Marika on Silas was just kind of not completely unkillable, but if he was able to ever do what he wants to do in a fight, it always went the way of Happy Jellyfish. If he didn't, like if he was picked up beforehand, then it would definitely be Five Big Booms favored. And then Navis obviously did really well on the Jin. To be honest, both AD carries played well. But the biggest outlier was just this Mundo, not able to really do anything in the game. Kind of felt useless. Rizzy was just kind of doing whatever he wanted into the Mundo. It just kind of didn't matter. So that's the one that stuck out to me. I don't know if the Mundo was just a bad pick or not. I really don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can break him down pretty quickly. And I mean, the only AP threat is the Silas, so I don't really think Mundo wants to be in this game.
Yeah, from what I've heard talking to a couple top laners, because we've seen this Aatrox versus Mundo matchup, at least I've casted it a few times. Um, and a couple of top laners prefer the Aatrox side of it because even though uh, Mundo can't be CC'd, there's just so much more opportunities to knock that out with Qs and things like that. So, um, yeah, I think this is from what I've gathered looking at the early game of this matchup a few times now. It feels like the Aatrox really has no issues with this matchup. So, um, but I like the ults that Silas has access to. I mean, Caitlyn's probably the only one that it's just whatever. So, Mundo ult kind of acts like a pseudo Swain ult. You know, you steal that and then you E into a group of 5, you press Mundo R, and then you just kind of go to town with a bunch of healing.
Yeah,
But
the Mundo art feels great for him. I mean, like you said,
yeah,
the Swain, the Alistar alt, like these kind of big like AOE esque, either AOE healing or non AOE, but it feels like an AOE. Like Alistar alt and freaking Mundo alt do feel AOE to me. I don't know why. It's just maybe because they're in a fight, just not dying. But
mhm.
yeah, I guess that's the wrong term. There's probably a better term I'm looking for. But nonetheless, like these big team fighty alties, Silas loves them, especially if he becomes unkillable, because he already has so much natural healing in his kit from his W, right? So
Mhm.
trying to deal with this guy with that sounds absurd. But even with that said, I mean, you've got Lissandra ulti, like you said. The lockdown is just really nice for him.
Yeah,
Um, Jumping onto Caitlyn or Nami, they just pretty much disappear. But with that said, like he obviously Rika was doing well, but they did have moments where they would catch him out and deal with him a bit. The problem was just again like if they ever got like a good 4v4 or a good 5v5, it was really hard for them to really do anything. Like Mundo didn't really offer too much, and um, these uh these Bard alts that occasionally would land would just split a fight and would just go really hard in the favor of Happy Jellyfish.
Yeah, I think the Bard is a really good pick here from Don Don. I know he's subbing in for Marcuti, but you just have a lot of synergy, I feel like, overall between these champs. I mean, you steal Lysandra ult, you can then open up with Jin W and the Jin R. Um, if someone gets jumped on J4 ulted, then Bard just ults the J4, or even like ults the Lysandra if she tries to make a play. Um, to kind of mitigate some of her AoE damage as well. So I think overall, like you said, opening up, this was a much better comp. This looks like a happy jellyfish comp, honestly,
Yeah,
compared to what they picked last game.
and all that said, like I said, there was really nice advantages for uh, 5A booms early, but I think it was the plate advantage that was really swaying the game a bit because though they had kills early on, for like this Caitlyn and even this Lysandra, there were every lane was getting at least one or two plates, even in some certain circumstances, like three plates, I think, topside, for Happy Jellyfish. And I know that's going to be a big difference in gold if you're not acquiring plates on the other side.
Yeah. Plates plus CS advantage for topside, yeah. And Rizzy's not going to be the easiest thing to kill because this comp for five big booms isn't like the greatest like high damage comp either.
Not just that, they don't
You-
really have a lot of bursts,
Yeah, that's what I'm
which
saying. Is like you don't cut through bruisers. Like even if you step on the Trappist Pantheon, you just E it and then poof, like your zone control's done.
sure, but then Pantheon's E is down, so I mean, like I agree if you want to just use it, break a trap, that's fine. But if you use that and they can find an engage on Pantheon now, he just disappears. So it can be pretty risky to do it like that. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, I'm gonna skimming through trying to remember how the game ended. Um, it's been a while. It's been about 4 or 5 days since I recorded this game here. Um, but yeah, it looks like I want to say they try to turn onto somebody somewhere in the game and then just basically lose the fight. They try to go for a pick or something, I thought, on the side of Five Big Booms. I could be remembering it incorrectly here, but I'm watching it back right now. Do you have any other takes on the game, though? Is there anything else that stood out to you in specifics, or is that kind of your view on here on this game?
Mm, no, I mean I see Silas got about 12-minute Roa, so he was just accelerated decently. He gets tankier, and it's going to be even harder for him to get taken out. Two items here for Aatrox at 18 minutes, so he's really accelerated against Mundo, and it just feels like this is a this is the happy jellyfish comp. We see them like tried and true run, and they got the advantages they get and snowball the game.
Yeah. So I see what it is. They end up face checking. Nami gets killed, and then the fight just kind of breaks, unfortunately, because there's no damage afterwards. But yeah, Pocket's too fat. Rizzy was too big on this Aatrox. Even though he wasn't like super fed in kills, he was very farmed up. Had his plates, had his turrets. He definitely had his gold. But all right, we can move into the final game here, and this one was the one that I was scratching my head because if I remember correctly, this game ended on just the most wonky setup I've ever seen in my life. As far as the game to end, it felt like a solo queue end. Um, it was not the greatest performance here from Five Big Booms by any means. Probably one of their worst of the split, unfortunately. Don Don picking up the Braum, countering the MF, pretty huge. MF couldn't do too much. Rizzy didn't have too much issue dealing with the Malphite, but Malphite was able to do fine in lane. Um, but the big thing was Eureka and Navish just kind of popping off on their respective roles on this Ari, and Varus, and this was the redeeming Rurika game on the Ari pick. So he's like, hey, I can actually play Ari. So I guess my joke at the beginning of memeing him,
Mhm.
it doesn't work.
I'm
But
still gonna meme him, but you're correct.
yeah, but
He knows
I
it too.
really just want to touch on the end of the game, if this is what I remember correctly. Let me double check here. Because it wasn't like a crazy high kill game. The game ended at like 21 minutes, so there was a lot of diving happening too from red side. It was pretty nuts. Let me see. This might not be the series. No, it's not. Then there's another series where it ends funny. So this one, they basically just their pockets are just too big and they walk at them and just end the game. It really, I don't have a lot to say about this game because it wasn't that exciting. Like once Happy Jellyfish got their lead, the game was pretty much over. Pretty unfortunate from a series that was really fun and tightly contested in the first two, just to kind of end on a whimper. But it's kind of the story of a lot of our 3 game series. One team just runs out of gas for some reason, and or maybe one team downloads the other team, and then the pocketbooks kind of show full, and there you go. But yeah, maybe it was the Prime TLT series. There was one, man. You're gonna laugh when you see the ending of the game. It's not gonna make any sense. So, but yeah, I don't have too much else to say. Is there anything you want to say about this game in particular?
No. Um, Kind of similar to game two. Like this looks like more of a cohesive, happy jellyfish comp. I'm still gonna meme the Rurika Ari, but it is nice to see Malignant's Ari kind of come back out. 25 stacks here in 20 minutes is actually kind of freaking nutty.
You know,
But
I do have a question for you. Sona.
yeah.
What do you think about Sona? What's your opinion of that?
I think in Fearless, Sona has value because I don't think she's that far behind the big primary enchanters. I just think she's a little more skillful to pull off, just because of how weak her early game is, and how like sensitive, I guess is the right word, is her early game is. When she scales, she can be an absolute monster, and she's really good at counterpicking into other enchanters. Because those typically are more reactionary enchanters. She can be a little more proactive with the R, and she just gives her team a lot of just stats. So really good with stuff like Victor. I don't think she pairs well with MF, unfortunately. But I can see a world where like a Sona pick is pretty good value.
Nice, nice.
So
So he doesn't
if
think
you
Sona
if you,
bad. That's all. That's all
no
I
no
was
no,
curious about.
it's probably one of those champions that your team needs to be used to playing around instead of like you could just throw it in instead of X pick.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and thank you, Five Big Booms, for playing this split. We appreciate it. We hope you guys return again. Any Sad Jellyfish members from the Sad Jellyfish era, we want back in the league. It's honestly sad that they're not a team anymore. But yeah, so hopefully
I
you
see what you did
guys,
there.
hopefully you guys come back. We do want you to guys, Shanti, Haku, and Salt continue the legacy there. Come back with whether this is the team or it's a new team with U3 and 2. We want to see it back. With that said, let's jump into the next one with another legacy team here in Scorch versus Boppa Twisted Gankit. Boppa Twisted Gankit, this is a team that has definitely struggled all split, and I know it's not been easy. One of the lower elo teams in our league, and they definitely came out and tried their best. They fought all the way through, which I appreciate once again from them. Playing all 5 series is massive, even when you're done and over with at 0-4. You could have ruined Scorch's day if you could have found a way to get some wins. It didn't turn out that way. But on the other side, Scorch, they came out, played extremely well. I think Ares redeemed himself from the week 4 series against Froggy, and Bunshura put on a light show on the Syndra here in game 1. And then Calico got to play the Zillion. I'm sure very happy about that. So yeah, I think I know I casted it, but did you? Wait, you were there too, right? You came out and casted it with me. I just
Yeah,
can't
yeah, I
remember.
did actually. Yeah.
Yeah, this was when we did on like a
Yeah, I did.
Thursday,
I did
right?
cast this. Yeah, we did this on a Thursday where I think I last second messaged you like, "Yo, you need a partner in crime."
Yeah, and you jumped in. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
I just remember Syndra blowing people up a lot. That was the big thing about this game.
Yeah, this game one, um, pretty much Scorch favored. I'm glad to see Boonstra bringing out the Syndra for people who've ever played against him or watched Scorch throughout the splits. Like he played Syndra bot lane quite a bit, along with a couple of other like wackier AP champs. So it was nice of him to kind of like throw this out there and be like, "Yo, remember I play this shit too." Um, Ares really had a really big pop off game. I felt like into Keys and Bessa. This is the second time this week we've seen Mbessa top. I just don't think it works, to be honest. There's just so many things that just beat her up. It's got the Aurelia thing where it's flashy, it looks great, but everything just right clicks you and beats the shit out of you. So you just can't really do your thing. But I will like, even though this was pretty Scorch favored early and they just kept the pressure on and snowballed this game. Duffy or DXF, he had some flashy like Lee Sin mechanics. Like it was uh pretty impressive. Um, when you watch Lee Sin players put in work on their champion and actually play it well. I know a lot of these plays didn't go his way just because his team was so far behind, but we've seen a couple of flash kicks and some ward hops that got him out of some trouble. That yeah, I think he overall even got your props here at the end of this game. So
Yeah, no, I thought he played it well at times. I don't think he has a bad lead at all. Something he's played all split, and I think he should continue to play the pick because he definitely has some proficiency on it. Um, looking at Bob and Twisted, like I said, like they just they were in a group that was very, very strong, man. Another really, I mean, we could say that almost about every group, uh, pretty much. But again, like it's tough to be in this group here, and they put up a fight each and every week, tried their best no matter what. But when you're going against diamond master tier level players, and you guys certainly aren't at that level quite yet, it can make it a very tall task to win a series. Um, with that said, I do think Baba Twisted every week did again put up a great fight. So that wasn't the problem. And with more time together cooked in the kitchen, who knows how much better they can get, right? The limit is the sky and the ceiling is that. So um, as they say, the sky is the ceiling. I said it in the most funny way, but whatever. So yeah, I mean, shoot for the stars, guys. Like don't let a couple bad series and a bad splits get you down, um, because as CLT knows, eventually on the horizon there's going to be that split where you're going to conquer the world. So right, CLT.
right, right, yeah,
For those wondering, CLT has won a championship. Don't let him fool you. This guy's got a
oh,
trophy. This guy's got a trophy on the shelf.
we're not going down. It's not anytime soon.
Well, let's get into game two, and let's kind of talk about what happened here in game two from Scorch picking up another pretty decisive victory here at 26 minutes.
Yeah, I thought this was another uh like it was another Scorch victory, but honestly, just the way they won it was a little bit differently. We seen Boonstra on again another one of these AP champs that he's kind of reminded the league, yo, I play this shit too, and Asol. And I thought Scrub Lord um picking this Mel pretty early if I remember correctly. Let me go back to the draft real quick. Yeah, picking Mel with Asol showing was interesting to say the least. I didn't I wasn't a great big fan of Bobbitt's draft overall. I do I do like DXF, after his pretty big hype game on Lee Sin. Granted, it was in a loss where the rest of the map I felt like didn't didn't do him any favors. Coming out on this Ignite Talon, I was ready to see some flashiness in here, but I don't feel like overall he got the opportunity to put as much pressure on the map as he should have, especially early into like a Viego. Because even though Asol's great in the Mel still gets the push the first few levels. So I thought they could have played the early game a little better and put a lot more pressure on the Scorch comp. But Scorch's comp has two infinite scalers, but then three champions that bring CC, bring some like bruiserness, some tankiness, and just overall, they team fight pretty well. So it
Yeah, I think the Talon was a fun, spicy pick for sure. I don't think we've seen Talon in the league ever. I could be wrong. Kind of like the Katarina.
yes,
Yes, we've never
yes,
seen it.
insane, but it's no insane banana.
Oh,
Remember, Flame Dog used to play it with Yumi.
oh, when? I don't remember them playing that in one of the splits.
Two splits ago.
Did they? Okay, I have to look
Yeah,
back at
that
that.
was the mid lane Yumi and Kane, but when somebody would ban Kane, they would do it with Talon instead.
Get wrecked. Okay, it has happened, but it's been a while. It's been almost a year.
I I
Oh,
know I got the Yumi player on my team.
yeah, he got the Yumi player on his team. Get wrecked, kid. Um, whatever, man. We're not gonna talk about Insane Banana Posse. We're talking about Scorch and Papa Twisted Cake. Damn it! No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you were talking about the Talon.
Yeah, you're right. You were talking
You
about
were
Talon.
hyped for the Talon, I will say.
I
Like he
was. I
was
was
ready
excited
for
to see something different, man. I
it.
was excited for it because I like to see different things. But I think he did well in the Talon. I don't think it was like he was not performing, but he got to a point where he like would look at Ares and Ares would say hello, and then
Bring
and
it.
then DXFY would say goodbye because that's how quickly he died. Uh,
Yeah.
he'd appear and then he'd disappear in like an instantaneous time when Aatrox showed up, which should also, to my other point, Ares, man, he was a monster in this game too. Like, dude took over the map. Um, it wasn't even close when it came to this Aatrox, but we see the Aatrox Mundo again, and this is where I think more than even the other series where we see Aatrox really dominate Mundo. Um, so it was definitely something that I'm not surprised Scorch was able to pull off. They're a very, very good team. Um, and they're able to pick up their third victory at the split here in a pretty dominating fashion. What we've seen from Scorch here is they either are going to 2-0 you or they're going to lose 0-2. So with that trend in mind, I think if Scorch win games one, we know where the series might be going. If they lose game one, we probably know where the series is going. Um, which
Yeah.
is not a good sign for any team. But again, they have time to kind of figure this out here. They got these tiebreakers coming up. And if they're able to pull off at least one series, they'll put themselves in prime position to make playoffs. Uh, but yeah, so that's the Scorch situation, and congratulations to them on getting the win. And thank you again, Bappa Twisted, for playing. I did hear from talking to the team captain they may come back and play in another league that we have in store. But I'm not going to make that announcement here on the show. I'll just let CLT make the announcement live. But just know something is
Uh,
coming. Something is coming.
we'll we'll tease it that something is coming, and you should know something by next week's show, and we can talk about it a little more there.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah.
That's what I'll give our
So
fans that.
yeah. So hopefully Bob and Twisted will make an appearance. We'll see. We'll see. But let's jump into the next series, which I actually forgot was the other 3 game series that we had. So Group C was fun 3 game series, huh? Everybody else was just swift 2-0s, get me out of here. Good night, take a nap, move on.
We got
Uh,
shit to do.
yeah, they got shit to do. And that's gonna be the series between Vancouver Impact and uh, Froggy Style. Which let me pull that up. Now, trying to figure out game one on these things is the hard part. Okay, so game one, if you're wondering, CLT, was the Shen game. No, sorry. Wait, was it? Hold on. Yeah, it is the Shen game, so I gotta pull up the right one. I don't see Shen here, so that is the wrong one. Hold up. Let me pull it up for you guys. They put it all on the same.
I see screenshots. I don't see.
Yeah, it's all on screenshots, buddy. Okay. If you click on the first screenshot, it actually has all 3 pictures in one. Funny enough.
Well, I'm looking at the VOD on YouTube.
There you go. He's
So
looking at the VOD on YouTube. But yeah, so here you go, guys. We had the Shen on the top lane for Choros. And then Worm Jones pulling out some fun snippity snip nip. And which I do think the Gwen, uh, I'm not surprised it actually struggled here. I do think they have the burst and the CC to deal with her. I do like seeing the Zaya, but I think the Braum answer was really nice with the fact that he could shield and stop the pullback coming in. But yeah, I mean this is a really exciting first game, and I want to say I casted this, so this is the one that I think this is the one that has the funky third game. I think this is it, right here actually. But let's talk about game one. And I'm trying to remember what happened in game one because I don't fully remember. I'll be honest with you.
I'll be perfectly honest. I got nothing for
This
this
guy's
either.
got nothing. What I will tell you is that that I can remember for sure is that um, Mac was doing well in like out of lane, but like King was actually doing really well in lane into Mac. The trading was like always in favor of the Victor, and hence why the Victor generally stayed up in CS even when getting ganked tons and put behind here. Like these were not a bunch of solo kills or anything. There was a lot of focus from Bananasaur here. I'm sorry, not Bananasaur, but Worm Jones into this Victor. Um, and the other thing I remember was that I could have sworn. No, never mind. Disregard my mindset, guys. I was going to say something. I don't think anyone got really far behind in this game. I think it was tightly contested all the way through. I don't think there was any crazy comeback that I can recall. Um, but it's so hard to remember what happened in each game because of these darn. I have to use screenshots and not Battlefy, and then it doesn't help me because then I can't see who actually won, so I have to decipher the defeat thing. So Frogger won game one. Okay, I see. I don't even remember who won game one. That's how bad it is, guys. Please don't attack me for my memory. Sometimes I am forgetful.
Yeah, I looking at the side of Vancouver Impact, I'm not a great big fan of this comp. Like it does check off a lot of boxes, but I don't think this the comp is almost a little too like reactionary. Like you have Shen ult, you have um the W from Gwen, you have the W from Mel, and even Arcane Shift is fairly reactionary for most Ezreal players. So I just feel like there's not much proactiveness in this comp. I mean, yeah, you can position Gwen to where she like ghosts at somebody with a Shen ult, but then if they don't play that correctly, they just get ran away from, and then you just wasted two high power cooldowns.
Yeah,
So even looking at the builds, like you see Mel go on Blackfire first, it's a pretty like defensive wave clear, like you want to be on your back foot type of item. For the most part, it's nothing proactive like say a Luden's Echo or you know any other like item in that regard. So I don't know. I just feel like they have a lot of really good tools to kind of react to a team fight, but then when you have stuff like Sejuani, Rakan, Aatrox, like they're just all running at you and blitzkrieging you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You don't have that many like peeling or lockdown tools.
yeah. I think I now remember a little more of this game now that I'm kind of like watching it and kind of seeing everything. I remember specifically Aatrox winning hard in the top lane of the Shen and kind of being surprised by that, how hard he was kind of like winning the lane. Uh, but yet like Charles was keeping up a farm even though like Fuse was winning all the trades. This is like a big trend of the series here. Like Froggy's lanes were pretty good, but like every time they would like get an advantage, like Vancouver would just like really always find a way to fight back. That's why you see this game so close. But also another big thing was the Braum. Pixelated Pizza got caught out like numerous times in like key spots to where now you don't have like your tank to defend your team, and it's like okay, what do you do? You know, I'm sure the Shen exists, but like he's a big part of the peel and a big part of the face check with 5 with the Shen and be okay type thing. So it was pretty unfortunate, but that led to a lot of these objectives going down in favor of Frogger style. On top of the fact they had a lot of great pick with both Rakan and the Sejuani here. There was a time where the Mel reflected the Sejuani ult, and I thought that could come up a lot more in the game, but it really never did. But yeah, Aatrox really
I actually
was
just
this.
seen that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. The trend of the week really does just seem like Aatrox. You pick Aatrox, you win game. It kind of feels like that. Seems like he's going up in priority right now. Um, which I'm kind of curious now. What's the Aatrox and the Malphite matchup like? Does Aatrox just crap on him, or is Malphite happy to
Mm,
just chill in lane? Because that's the one that's kind of got me curious. It
It I feel like it depends on how good the Aatrox player is. Like if the Aatrox player is really proactive and can land a lot of Qs, then I think he can leave it to an even state. But I also feel like he gets outscaled, and like Arcane Comment, poke Malphite can just poke him down and then all in him. So I don't know. I could be completely off bases with that, but it seems to be a matchup that Malphite's like really favored for. He tends to do really well into like fightery type of matchups. So
Yeah, I guess I can see that. But yeah, Aatrox, he's been a dominant force this week, and Froggy Style taking advantage of that, and Fuse having a really phenomenal performance here. Um, Anywhere he went, he pretty much just carried the team fight, and then allowed his Victor and Zaya behind the backs of these two tanks to just free fire and do the damage they wanted. Which kind of leads me to my last thought on this game, and why I'm really not surprised that Froggy ended up pulling it out in the end. Was I just feel like the there was always an answer for a champion on the other side. Like I think Aatrox is a good answer in the Shen. Sejuani, even though it's not particularly like super strong into something like a Gwen, it's a nice answer with the Aatrox and Rakan to CC Locker together, and then burst her down after that. The Victor should be fine in the lane against the Mel, but at the same point, the Rakan Sejuani are perfect for just jumping on her face, right? There's nothing to block out of Rakan. Ezreal, he's not like super great in Desire from what I've seen in the past. And then like even though the Braum exists to kind of negate this, well, honestly, Victor is good into Braum, so the W is very strong in making it hard for Braum to do what Braum wants to do. So uh, yeah, I think overall it was just a really nice comp by Froggy all the way through, and the Chemtech Soul certainly didn't help the matters, and they just didn't have the damage to get through it, and then they got outscaled because the Gwen really was supposed to be that answer, I think, but Gwen just can't free hit. I almost
yeah,
wonder if
Kim.
you put Shen in the jungle and Gwen in the top, if that's better, just so Gwen doesn't
Hmm.
have to be in team
Interesting.
fights as much.
Yeah, I that'd be an interesting one. I think uh I think overall when you're drafting um Jen, you want more of a hyper carry on there, so Ezreal doesn't really fit the bill a little bit. Um I think Gwen just is too it's almost too melee. So um overall, yeah, Chemtech Soul 3 Chemtech Drake's going over to an Aatrox that's like super far ahead is sounds insane.
Yeah,
And no one really had anti-heal outside of Shen, and he has to auto Shen to get it, so that's another
exactly.
kind of feels bad moment.
But yeah, so jumping over here to game two, this was a game where I liked what Froggy was bringing to the table. I thought the Nocturne Ori Kaisa comp was really nice. I felt like the Pike in theory could work, and then having a nice tank on the top lane kind of rounded it out. But the comp just never found that setup, except for maybe once or twice where they were able to pick off Stunner and Pizza. But man, like the lockdown and the setup they had on Impact's comp was just so nice that even if they tried to make a play, if they don't burst people down, the Nocturne just insta pops, or the Ori just insta pops she's touched, right? Like it was super hard for them to play their comp as the game progressed. Even though they had
Uh,
Ornn for freaking late game items too, by the way. Like I actually thought at one point that they were gonna win the game because of that, and it just never came to fruition.
yeah, I'm kind of looking at the draft and how things were picked. I know Froggy style is probably one of the I'd probably argue that they're the best Nocturne team in the league, in a sense of like they have this Nocturne plus X combo down to a point. We've seen it, run tables and come back on Scorch in game one of that series. And Banana Sword really does makes a lot of things happen. And we also see Baruka King also paired up with the Oriana and Kaisa as well. So like this is a prime Froggy style comp. I just don't know if you see a B1 Lulu, I don't know if you ever think about going into that comp because there's no way in hell that Nocturne Oriana, as long as Lulu's on the screen, if whoever's Nocturne's ulting, I don't think there's any way they burst through that. And then Vancouver just kept having really, really good answers overall to the draft. You see the Xin Zhao, which can be that kind of front line tankiness in a team fight with his R. You see Lissandra, it's like, okay, try and ult her. She's just gonna ult herself. And then Neela, while the Oriana ult's gonna hit, she gets added value from all of the Lulu utility, and then she can dodge all of Nocturne's autos afterwards as well. Like I see what Froggy did. I just don't know if you hard commit this much into your bread and butter comp. And I honestly think you can't even pivot away from it. That's what makes the first pick Nocturne so bad when you see something like Lulu. But I will probably give more of it to Impact for drafting a really solid answer comp wise.
Yeah, and the Nyla man was really a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be in this game. It kind of felt like, okay, what can she do? But nah, dude, like the Nyla was excellent pick here. Um, Even if it didn't like pop off super hard off the screen, it was definitely doing work. But yeah, there was like I said, there was a fight. I want to say it was mid lane at some point where they blew up the Nyla and the Lulu with the Nocturne Ori combo. I just don't remember where it happened at, but it was earlier on. Okay, I found it. It's right before this
Yeah, time.
Drake 3. It's like 21 minutes or so. And there's actually no objectives up when I think they make the play, but they're able to get some pressure on the map off of it. And you can see the strength of what it wants to do. Um, but besides that like moment there, just there wasn't a lot of those moments, and you're not one shotting any other members really. I feel like on the other side, and even then, if you really watch it back, Bananasaur almost just gets killed even after the combo. So if there are more members there, like it's pretty much doomed. It was just like all five strong, get the pick, and then dip out. So
I think the only thing that could potentially save this I would even go so far to say is a little bit of a draft gap here is if you get far enough ahead, but I gotta see Serpent's Fang second on Nocturne. I
yeah,
know he has a much better build path into it compared to like some of the other junglers out there, but if your whole goal is to dive and kill somebody and you're already seeing B1 Lulu, I'm smashing the Serpent's Fang second easily just to try and make this comp work so much better.
yeah. And if you
And
watch,
also, this pike feels way out of place.
it does. If you watch the fight afterwards, it kind of felt like a just do the icon please type play, because they walk into the not banana bush, but uh, the tri bush there, and just kind of get completely destroyed, even though it's a 5v3. And so this is right after the Nyla Lulu get one shot in the mid lane. And Jinzao has a nice little ult there. Worm Jones survives. Lissandra comes in, cleans it up, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like thinking to myself, if they're just hitting Otacon and they're forced to like try to focus one member at a time there in the 5v3, if they decide to take it, then I feel like it's fine for Froggy there. Like they should win that fight and get the Otacon. But after that, the game just kind of broke.
I'm actually like I'm watching more of this game, and I know I keep going back to this a little bit. Like, is this not like a decent AP Kai'Sa angle? Like, there's not really anybody that's going to long term tank a lot of W pokes. So I feel like this could have went like Static Shiv, Nashers, and the like Death Cap, and just straight up like I'm seeing the Nyla poke here at this dragon fight here at like 24 minutes. He hits pixelated with a couple of W's. But I feel like if he's got W upgraded there, he just literally spams W here, and that softens up the front line for then a Bananasaur, Baraka King like combo into it. Because also, like, even if your poke is not doing the most amount of damage, you're still forcing spells out of Lulu.
Yeah,
So,
there certainly could be an angle for it to work, but at the end of the day, like the comp was just kind of always in a hard spot, I think, to work out, like you stated, and it kind of just got outscaled, and that was pretty much it, and that's all she wrote. But it was still a very hard fought and close game. Kind of reminded me of our game against Prime, our game 3, where I ended up on the Nocturne. It kind of felt like that. Like, though the difference was at least you drafted a nice comp around the Nocturne. Uh, I think we could have done better with our draft a little bit, but I think it's still hard, man. Sometimes you just get those comps, those anti-nocturne comps, and it can be very difficult.
yeah.
But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the final game, and this is the one that definitely confused me. I swear it is. I swear on all things, uh, how this game ended. But
Ooh,
the
Lux
game
mid.
itself was really fun early on, and there was a lot of back and forth. But then the Mordekaiser got big, man. And once the Mordekaiser got big, he was just all somebody 1v1. It was over. That and I'm sorry I have to do this on the show. I just have to because it would be a disservice of what actually happened in this game. I'm sorry, Hero. I am so sorry. You're such an excellent player. The Otacon. The Otacon, man. Let me go to the Otacon.
I need a timestamp so I can follow this.
Okay, so they pick off the Mordekaiser at about 20 minutes and 30 seconds. Otacon started up at 21 minutes, so it's an advantage for Froggy Style here. Okay, Fuse TP's back in. I'm like, all right, this is fine. Just hit the Otacon. Shouldn't be an issue. And then the Tristana jumps in and just dies for no reason. And I'm just sitting here on stream like, what? Like, my literal reaction was like, what did you try to do? Like, that was literally me, like, live on stream, because I was completely confused. I don't know what it was, and I'm sorry that I have to bring it up, but I feel like,
Oh, wait, what the hell?
yeah, that was, at this moment, I think if they get Otacon, they're a little behind. I think if they get Otacon, the game is playable, and I think they scale back into the game.
Uh,
But man, yeah, it's
they
it's a blooper reel for sure,
they did
100%.
not need a hero that fight.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, and by the way, the Lux ult on Bananasaur afterwards, the 2 item Lux. Woohoo, buddy.
Oh yeah, Mac was disgusting on this Lux. By the way, I actually think he got his get back in lane a bit. I think he played the lane. This was his best lane performance overall.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a known counter. It's a known counter to Zoe. Like
Okay.
when at post level 6, like you just throw the E at Zoe when you see her R, and then you R and pop her. Like it's a known counter pick into Zoe. His Lux. So yeah, I was just really happy when I seen the Lux mid. I'm like, what made you play? Oh, that's what made you play Lux mid. Like Zoe, Renekton, Rek'Sai, like all things that walk into Lux, and she can just freely Q you and then do the rest of the burst.
Yeah, they can break the All Star Unbreakable really easily. Just get him to pop it,
Yeah.
which is what you want to see, whether it's Lux or Ash.
Mhm.
Like his ult is getting dropped there. But yeah, the ending of this game though, man, the series was so nice to watch. And I'm like casting it. I'm enjoying myself. Even the Tristana play, I'm like, oh no, what's this? But then like I'm like, all right, this game is still playable. Come on, guys, let's end this game on a high note for both teams, no matter how it ends. And then let me go find where it starts. The funniness of this game. Okay, so first off, Mordekaiser's split pushing right now. He's breaking the base. Okay, this is 25, 26 minutes into the game. Renekton gets stopped trying to take the portal, so he has to E over a wall. You got Hero running one way. You got everybody else running in one way. So Hero's going to die on one side of the map in his own fight. Then Choros is going to, like, 1v2, or actually 1v3 in one fight. The Renekton is getting caught out in another fight. And it's all happening sporadically on different parts of the bot side, mid side of the map. And I'm like, what is this, bro? Like, this doesn't even make sense. And then Banana Sword tries to make a hero play, he gets pushed out, and the game ends. I'm just like, what did I just watch? Like,
I'm kind of going through this a little bit right now.
isn't it just the goofiest way for a game to end?
It's something. I
Yeah.
just noticed this was spellbook on Zoe, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even notice that during the cast, but
Yeah.
it was a great
Yeah.
series. If this game ending just doesn't happen, that's all I gotta say. I think that kind of ruined the game three for me a little bit as a fan. But man, Vancouver, way to fight back. They come down from 1-0 and get the 2-0 reverse sweep there, and kept their season alive. So now we have the tiebreakers we have, and why this group is where they're at. If Froggy Style took care of business, we wouldn't be in this point, right? So,
Oh man.
yeah.
As a former Lux player, I feel what Mac did there at the very end. The moment Tristana just comes alive, he auto alter and then kills her in base.
Yeah, kind of disgusting.
Oh
But
man,
yeah,
that
that
that's
was
long.
that was that series. But yeah, so like I said, guys, we have tiebreakers happening. Thursday, we have a matchup between. Hold on, let me check real quick before we go to Group D. I'm gonna check for you. I'm gonna check. Okay, so Thursday we've got Scorch versus Froggy Style at 7 EST. We've also got on Thursday Cal Poly versus For Fun and Femboys versus Instinct CK. All this happening tomorrow. Look out for that. The Femboys versus Instinct is a best of one for the number one seed in that group, which means they would be somewhere within slotted 1 through 4. I believe they'd be the fourth seed based on their them being 4-1, everybody else being 5-0 in the top of the groups. As far as Friday goes, we also got a match between Cal Poly and UAFS. So that's going to be a big one. So both Cal Poly series will be played and knocked out. And then we have Scorch versus Vancouver on Sunday. So that could be a big decider. I did hear, from what I'm understanding, that Froggy Style cannot play against Vancouver. So they will be forfeiting against Vancouver, which does mean Froggy Style does not control their destiny. They have to beat Scorch to have a chance at playoffs. And then we will get interesting after that. As far as the only other one we were waiting on besides that would be For Fun versus UAFS. Still haven't heard nothing from that series quite yet. Hopefully gets played Saturday. That's what I'm hearing. Otherwise, one team may be forfeiting that tiebreaker. And again, it feels bad, but it is what it is. Both teams are still playing versus Cal Poly, so that means both teams still would have a chance regardless if one team forfeited. So that's your tiebreaker rundown for the weekend. It should be a fun one. But let's finish off this episode, at least in terms of the recap. Let's jump into the last two series here in Group D. First up, we got Small Brain No Mechanics versus Hidden Leaf. And I got to say, personally, this is not what I had on my bingo card for the series. They did role swap everybody in their team. So there's a little caveat there. These are all still very good players here on Hidden Leaf. But the series did not feel like what I would have anticipated as a player from who I was looking forward to playing. I know we were having some fun in the all chat there, or at least directly chat the day of the match. So, yeah, CLT, did you catch anything of our series at any point?
I did not catch much of it. Looking through it right now, there's already a play that I want Mono to clip, and that is his Tristana not starting out with items. This game one.
Oh, did he not start with items? That's crazy.
Wait, you didn't even know this?
Did he go back and buy them? Did he go back and buy them?
Oh, he got first blood off the invade. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I looked down at the scoreboard and I looked down there to see the champions, and then I'm like, something doesn't look right. Wait, Mono has no items.
Oh my god. He had
He,
no items. Getting a
he had
first
no
blood.
he had no items first blood. He first backs at 3.5 minutes with a BF sword. Is that not one of the most goated plays that needs to be clipped right there?
Honestly, I guess so. I wonder if they
Uh,
noticed it. I wonder if they. I don't see any pings. Oh, that's crazy, dude. That is crazy. But yeah, so this this series though, like this first game at least, was definitely not what I was expecting. Like I said, But from the jump, like we were able to get me an advantage there as well as Amano taking over the jungle there, and Hashirama's jungle was getting mauled by me early on. I got a huge lead. I think it was up like 6 camps at least on him at like the first clear and a half. Um, it was not fun at all for this Maokai, and I kind of feel like that's what we were talking about earlier with the champion. Like it needs not like necessarily help, but it definitely wants winning lanes, and it didn't really have any this series. The one that was the stale lane was kind of mid for a bit, and even that, like, it just wasn't enough. Zema was out here roaming all over the map, doing just whatever Zema wanted to do, kind of Zema things. Um, Vic was having a really nice performance in the Gwen top. And the Galio, I don't really know much about the matchup, but every time I see it, usually it's a pretty close fight between the two champions. But yeah, he got ahead early on the Gwen, so it was really hard for J Cash to play into it. And then obviously Fid. Fid really look. Fid had he went 0-0 and 28 this game. Freaking absurd, dude. Dude, it was you might as well call that Fid sick island, man, because that's how he played. So yeah, really insane performance there out of him, and just a really dominating game one from us. Definitely was again not something I expected. I definitely expected something different here out of this first out of this series.
Yeah, kind of skimming through this game one here. Yeah, it's just this looks like a comp that you guys are almost perfected. So this definitely speaks to what you guys like to do. Also, Zenma like playing this Aurora. I think he's one of the few that's hasn't really like gotten away from this pick.
No, he plays it really well and feels very comfortable on it. So
Yeah.
uh, as long as you know, and I've talked about this before, if the pick is really bad in the meta, that's one thing. But if the pick is mediocre or below the top half, but not like so you're talking like B tier, maybe even A tier, um, and it's still playable. You can play it. Like you don't have to feel like you can't play the champion, but just understand that if you're going against those S tier picks, it's going to be a harder game still for sure.
Well, he uses the Aurora, I think, in the best way that it's intended to be used. Like you see some people play Aurora as this like burst kind of mid lane champ, almost akin to like a Syndra or an Annie even. But Fid is or not Fid, I'm sorry, but Zenma is one of the ones that like he plays it, he wave clears with it, and then he roams. Like he's looking at the map in totality, which is why I think he's one of the top mids in the league. It definitely makes me think of like how Rurika plays or Good Boy or even Salt to a degree on his picks of like he doesn't he gets that extra 3 to 4% out of a champion that most people fail to do.
Yeah, definitely agree there. I mean, like I've said to you before, I mean, I'm gonna take my mid laner man. Uh, to me, he's always number one, right? This is me being biased. Not me being unbiased. He's a top three mid laner in this league. However you want to look at it, and that's respect to everybody. But he's my guy, so I'm not gonna sit there and act like he's some trash player or something here. Man performs. He always does, no matter what. So blessed to have him on our team. I mean, blessed to have all the boys on the team all the time. But yeah, Zema always is highlighted for a reason. The dude's fucking good. Um, but yeah, it was definitely interesting game one. I don't really have to touch on it too much else than that. Um, I'll jump into game two because it kind of felt the same way where it's like I don't even know what happened. The game just went one direction. I was like, okay. Um, I do think they played a little better early on, but once we got our lead, man, we just kind of steamrolled this game too. Uh, and Vic was literally unkillable this game. The definition of what Mundo is, by the way.
Mhm.
There's a fight near the end of the game where it's basically just him 1v5ing and not dying. It's the funniest looking thing I've ever seen in my life and did not make sense literally at all. If there was a Vic show, this was the Vic show.
Yeah, I just seen his first blood here. And This is where I think like Mundo can really shine, is in spots like these where he's doesn't have much pressure put on him in lane. And also, like, this is one thing Malphite is not a big fan of leaning against. He actually does not like the lane against other tanks. So, I think if we start to see more and more Malphite, I think Mundo is a perfectly viable pick into him.
What did I just do?
I don't know.
I clicked something, and I was able to.
Did you mute yourself again?
No, 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 no. I'm on the I was on our series, and I clicked a button and I made it look better, and I want to know what I did. Default view.
Uh,
Oh, theater mode. Okay, I want to start doing this. This looks so much better. Guys, I found the answer to what you guys have been talking. Why did I not think about this? This is amazing. This looks so much cleaner. I'm gonna do this from now on.
wait, you're talking about on YouTube?
Yeah, it looks better.
Oh, bro, welcome to 2025.
I am such an idiot, dude. Holy moly.
You said it.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, though, let me find this Vic 1v5, dude. That's what I was really looking for when I actually.
2025, and this bro just learned about YouTube theater mode. Okay.
Listen, I don't. I either go full screen or I don't. That's usually how it goes. So,
You,
leave me be, bro. No.
you either go full stupid or no stupid, bro. That's what I just learned.
This guy is. Now that's a little. That's a little much, man. I'm not stupid.
Nah. You just.
You just didn't know about
welcome.
the. I didn't know about the sequence, of events here. I didn't know
Yeah.
they existed. To click it. All right.
Okay. It's all right. We'll get them worked on for next week.
Well, I have it now. That's how I was gonna be run. Okay. So, anyways, the Vic 1v5 is at 21 minutes, basically to be exact. Now, preface it, we do all show up to help him, but dude literally has everybody hitting. I mean, the Kale was resetting, but like she was hitting it prior to, and bro's just not. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life, man.
Oh, yeah, this is Mundo gameplay.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Bro, I just don't understand this champion sometimes when it has a lead.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's
Though.
one of the, like, snowbally tanks, is the best way I can put it.
Yeah,
Pops
I
Zed,
didn't realize I
marking.
nearly basically one shot Hong Zoe and my cube just didn't finish the kill right afterwards, like 21 35, 21 40 right after the Mundo not dying. Bro, I'm like, damn, are you kidding me? When I watched it back, I was like, holy moly, why are you not dead on my screen? That's crazy. And I land the blind Q too, which even makes it more nuts. So, but yeah, man, it was definitely a fun series to play. But Hidden Leaf, I hope we meet again because we would like to play you guys up your main roles for sure. Was a very interesting decision and made the series something that again I was just not expecting. So, with that said, though, we will be seeing you guys in playoffs at some point, hopefully. But yeah, we'll jump into the last series, which was Prime securing themselves a nice 5-0 series against TLT. And that would be the last one. Now, I did record this game, but I was in the middle of doing something, so I didn't catch too much of it. Did you by chance watch any bit of it? Or no?
I did not. This is one of the series that I know nothing about.
Great. Man knows nothing. It's all on the hair riz. Well,
Yep.
here's my other MVP candidate. Well, one of my other MVP candidates, I think. First off, it was Esfaboda. I think he's had a fantastic, seriously fantastic split, and I just don't think Prime is undefeated without him, just because of the early wackiness of their split. So yeah, man, if there's a top laner that is deserving, he is definitely one of them. Uh, um, but yeah, hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. I had to pause real quick. So now we're back. Anyways, but yeah, so he's definitely one of my my candidates here for MVP, man. He has played phenomenal all split, and I'm not shook here that he's popping off here even on the Cho'Gath. Meanwhile, we had Phoenix Flare in the jungle on the Echo pick, which is not something you see very often. And if I do recall correctly, there was a couple times because I think I've caught like a little bit of this game where he would like just blow somebody up, but there was also times where he would just get blown up. So Echo does what Echo does. He's either gonna kill your entire team instantaneously or he's gonna die instantaneously because it's freaking Echo. Usually a pretty squishy champion. Um, but I thought TLT fought pretty well here, and I think they from the scrims they were playing, they looked pretty primed and ready for this series here, and that's Prime, no pun intended. But I think Prime is still a little ahead of them in terms of their play. But I do like seeing what I saw from TLT. Definitely would like to see them come back in the future because I do think they found some really nice spots, even gotten themselves into tight goal leads in the game. The problem I see, and this is what I've seen from a lot of the lower teams, is it's just really macro, wave control type stuff, and they're not able to find themselves many advantages around that. So it just really have to come in these team fights or these skirmishes. If they win it, they can bring the gold back and then maybe go snag a turret or whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, kind of skimming through the game and trying to remember, but yeah, I mean, this was. I didn't realize. I forgot how close it was. Yeah, it was a very close game up till middle of the game for sure. We can kind of watch over this fight here together, and kind of break it down. But TLT, like I said, looked very strong. They weren't playing for anything at the moment because unfortunately they weren't going to be able to make it due to the head-to-head matchups. But they found themselves small advantages, picked up the things they needed, and I kind of am curious about this team in just a different group, maybe where it's not so top heavy, or maybe just if they get to this point at the end of the season where they finally starting to figure it out, what they would look like if this was them towards the beginning of the season. But yeah, I mean it's really highly competitive game one. Let me see if I can find where the game ends here for you guys. Cause I just cannot remember. My God, that Svoboda's just Cho'Gath things, bro. I swear to God. He does whatever he wants to do at any point he wants to do. He just reminds me of another Moondog, bro. It's just this stupid giant tank that just eats your face. Make it make sense. And I will find it for you guys. I was kind of skimming over more, but okay. So it happens around here. That's where the ace is. All right. So I will show it off here. Yeah, it looks like we got a bit of a fight that breaks out mid. Unfortunately, getting the J4 and the Blitzcrank caught out. And as you can see, the Jhin just trying to do what the Jhin can, but there's just not enough damage coming out of this Jhin. I mean, the Cho'Gath's so huge. How do you know how you kill him? To be honest, but yeah, the pocketbook's too full as usual, and when that happens, good luck trying to win it out. But yeah, that was game one. Very long game, by the way. TLT really did put up a good fight here against Prime. Jumping into game two, similar story. There was a bit of a length, but the kills, man, it ballooned quickly at a certain point. This one was not as clean from TLT. We see the Braum, and you got to see the Braum really shine in this game for it being into MF. And, the thing about the MF Braum thing is, if the Braum doesn't put the wall the correct way, then of course, like, MF is fine, happy to just shoot her bullet time and anything. But as long as the Braum knows how to use that wall, MF can't play the game. And I think when you think about a counter, that's how the counter is supposed to work. So there is a little bit of some counterplay. But I thought Salty and Micaiah were doing pretty well under Daddy Q and Cuddly Snorlax, which I forgot to mention. Baby Tiger was out for this series. And then the Lee Sin here was able to find some small plays, but this dive, I remember this dive specifically. Yeah, was a bit scuffed. I feel like there's not a lot of man on the MF here, which is a big deal. The Braum still has enough for his E again, I believe, on the play, and that results in them not like just one-shotting him. Um, and I think if they do just kill him very quickly or the Jinx very quickly, the dive is much better. Instead, I mean, it ends up being a 1 for 3 initially until I'm Winter comes up and cleans up and gets himself a kill. Um, and I'm Winter played really really well in the silos too to keep this game kind of in distance at parts, but eventually, you know, everybody was just kind of getting one shot. I swear to God, this Ace will just fly in and make people disappear. It was kind of criminal, to be honest, and rather disgusting. So, uh, but yeah, man, this this TLT team, man, they fought so hard, and no matter what, like they should not feel bad about how their split went. They left it all out there on the line. But Prime, just another team that's really poised for playoffs, looks really, really strong. Big B finally having a shot to be in playoffs for the first time in, I don't know, like forever. I mean, I think his first split they might have made it, but let's see what he can do with it, man. Let's see what they can turn out here. They look like a very exciting team to continue to watch. I know our group has been relatively boring. Not a lot of random picks, not a lot of weird stuff, but
Yeah, sorry about that.
um, it's no big deal. We've been just chatting here. I do think it's going to result in some good gameplay. And I do think some teams do struggle against more standard. And sometimes they might be better at just playing more unique stuff. But yeah, all that being said, again, thank you TOT for coming out and competing. Um, and nice try on trying to make it, even though it didn't work out in your favor. The last one here, which was Hatchetmen versus Lucky Cats, that was a forfeit, so Hatchetmen got their one and only victory. CLT is on the board. Maybe not the way he wants,
Nope.
but it's not a winless season, CLT. Be positive, dude.
It's winless when I'm playing in it.
Oh my God, this guy. The haterade is real for himself.
For forfeits, yes, I hate forfeits.
We all do, honestly. I'm just trying to be positive. A win's a win. A win's a win's a win.
Yeah.
So, and thank you to your team for playing, and thank you for Lucky Cats for playing 2 games or 2 series. Disappointed that they didn't feel the need to continue to compete, but here we are, and hopefully eventually we can resolve that in the future. But to all the other teams that played all the way through, again, thank you so much. It's been a great, great regular season, and even though we're kind of not done with it because of tiebreakers, the standard play is done. So I'm excited for what this last kind of 4 weeks are going to showcase, because it should be a really exciting playoffs for our biggest split ever. So, anything to say other on that, CLT?
No, no, bring on the playoffs. I want to see all these teams play against each other, and I think anybody in playoffs could actually can go all the way. Like, there's a lot of talent.
Yeah. So for a full breakdown here, real quick on standings again. Femboys and Instinct are going to play for that 1 seed. Coin flip right now, the 3rd seed, but that group is locked up as far as being in the playoffs. Group B, Bucket John Betts and Vibe Check are at the 1 and the 2. UAFS for Fun, Cal Poly are fighting for that 3. Then they're in Group C. We've got Happy Jellyfish at the 1, and then Froggy Style, Scorch, and Vancouver all fighting for the 2nd and 3rd seed for that group. So look out for them, but they're all sitting at 3 and 2. And here in Group D, everybody is where they are. They're not moving. We've got Prime at 5 and 0 in the 1 seed, Small Brains at 4 and 1 in the 2 seed, and Hidden Leaf at 3 and 2 in the 3 seed. Group D, the only one completely locked up before we even finished Week 5, and they're going to stay that way. Nothing has changed. So there is your rundown of standings. Again, look forward to all of those tiebreaker matches from Thursday to Sunday. Should be a fun weekend. Hopefully, we're still able to play All-Stars. That is the one question we're going to determine here tomorrow, as we will have all the votes in and we will talk to players. But we know that some of these players may or may not be playing tiebreakers. So we will see. With that said, let's jump into the last two parts of the show real quick so we can get out of here. That is going to be the power rankings CLT. Let's start off with the first six like we always do, Senor.
Yep, yep.
All right, so not many changes here. I will note the couple that did move. So TLT did drop a spot, but that's only simply because they lost, but they did finish with a winning record at 2-3. Everybody else below them, unfortunately, either was 1-4 or 0-5. I did move Hatchman up just simply off the fact that they did technically have a win at the end of the split, whereas Bobbits was the Gankit, Royal Rogues, and Lucky Cats all finished at 0-5. Caveat, Royal Rogues also did forfeit, so that's why they also dropped further down, while Bobbits Twisted played it, so I put more respect on playing the game, not trying to put hate towards Royal Rogues. That's just the obvious thing. Capuchungas, Clungas, Among Us, they're going to be chilling there at the 20, not going anywhere. So yeah, that is your bottom six. CLT, I don't think you have much to say about the bottom six, do you?
Uh, no, no. I mean, felt like every team showed improvement when they did play the games, but they just struggled to get some wins.
Yep, indeed they did. Let's go ahead and jump into the next six then. So here we go. We've got at the number 18. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. At the number 18, I'm correct. Is forfeit at 20. Then at the number 17, UAFS Esports. Big Booms, five Big Booms coming in at the 16. Ninja Turts at the 15. Cal Poly at the 14. And Solus Endeavor at the 13. So, yeah, this is kind of my whole thing with this one, which is simply the fact that UAFS Esports did forfeit, means forfeit at 20, got a forfeit victory. I think UAFS right now looks stronger than me than forfeit at 20 coming into week 5, so I'm going to leave it at that. But forfeit did move up a spot, jumping over, I believe, TLT. Five Big Booms, they're going to move a spot just because of how competitive their series was against Happy Jellyfish. Unfortunately, they are not a playoff team, but they did play pretty well. Ninja Turts, my best 1-4 team of all time. Yes, they will they will sit at 15. I think this team could have beaten many of teams on this list if they just had some luck. But certainly, I think on the bottom part of this list can take most of these teams based on the eye test. Cal Poly Division 2 stayed exactly where they are at. They're going to be fighting for the tiebreakers along with UAFS and forfeit at 20. I'm put Cal Poly here because I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is the one team that pulls it out for that group. That's just my prediction. I could be wrong. And then Solus Endeavor dropping 2 spots. Put up a nice fight there against Coin Flip, but just wasn't enough. CLT, you have anything to say about these 6?
No, not really. I think there's some teams that in this group of 6 that had really standout games that they showed that they could, on their best day compete with some of the top tier teams. But then, they also had some disappointing games as well. So I know some of these teams are going to make it in the playoffs, but overall, they just need to be a little more consistent.
Yep, and we'll see if they can show that. With that said, let's jump into the next 6, where it might start to get a little controversial. I think at least a little more. So, coming in at the number 12, we have Hidden Leaf dropping 2 spots from last week. Scorch jumping up 2 to the 11. Froggy Style finding their way into the 10, dropping 3 spots after loss to Vancouver Impact Challengers. Vancouver finding their way to the 9, moving up 3. Then we have Vibe Check sitting there at the 8, no movement. And Small Brains finding their way into the 7th spot on the power rankings, where they will finish moving up 2 spots. So is there anything you really feel about these 6 before I kind of dive into my reasonings?
Um, no, I think the top part of these 6 have have played well and haven't really had many low points. Uh, Scorch, Hidden Leaf, and Froggy Style. Their losses have been like pretty bad losses in the sense of performance. So I could definitely see them being at the bottom of like these three, but they're still like decent quality playoff teams where I feel like a week off could help these guys sure up some stuff. We seen Scorch end the split really strongly here, but their low points, especially week one, and kind of having a lead game one against Froggy Style and Froggy letting Froggy Style come back. Yeah, their lows are lows, but their highs are highs when it comes to these six.
Yeah, I would I would definitely agree there. And I know we talked a little bit before we got on the show that you kind of were a little torn between Scorch and Hidden Leaf. And I think my biggest thing for them, and we kind of talked about it, was Scorch does have a marquee victory up there, as they did beat Vancouver, a team that I think looks really, really good. Hidden Leaf, they beat all bottom teams as of right now, and they couldn't even take a single game off of a top team. So it's really hard for me to put them any higher than where they are right now, but they're still a playoff team. Scorch, on the other hand, along with Froggerstown and Vancouver, are all fighting for playoffs right now, so they're no different than the bottom bunch here. Um, Before them with the UAFS, Cal Poly, and Forfeit at 20. So it'll be a fun, interesting um, circumstances there for the tiebreakers. And the vibe check, small brains, you could make an argument that either team could be above each other, below each other. Um, they think both have played super, super well at their highest highs, and then their little small lows, or small little valley, I guess you could say. Small Brains was able to nearly knock off a top four team in Prime, and Vibe Check. Uh, they really didn't look bad against Bucket John Betts, but they weren't able to even take a game off of them. So that's kind of my only reasoning for why I'm putting Small Brains slightly above Vibe Check. But I mean, if you want to have it swapped, I'm cool with that. I can see the reasoning for it, and they are the returning victors, so I wouldn't be mad if that was the case. And I do think if both teams played, it would be a very, very, very close series. So it would be one of those I'd definitely pick as a 50-50 split. But all right, show us the last six CLT and our final power rankings for the regular season. That is right. Bucket John Betts found their way up to the number one spot, moving up to. I'm certain they're going to love that. Happy Jellyfish chilling out at the two right now, not moving. Prime found themselves into the top three finally. It took them all split, but they were able to accomplish that goal. And Femboys making a showcase of why they are certainly still closer to a top three than a bottom six, finding their way back into the number four spot. And then Instinct and Coin Flip both dropping 4 and 1 respectively, with Instinct at the 5 and Coin Flip at the 6. I do think, knowing what we know about the tiebreakers, my power ranking looks even better in terms of Instinct and Coin Flip as they played again. So I think we have enough on that series to really solidify that at the moment. But yeah, I mean, what do you feel about these top six here, CLT?
I for the most part like agree with the top six. These teams have shown like not only resilience because like I look at Coin Flip and I see they had a not so great week one, but then end up finishing the season winning four straight series. I see Bucket John Betts. They only dropped one map to UAFS in week one, so they're on a 9 map winning streak on here. Happy Jellyfish is probably. It's fair to say that they limit tested the most, but I think like their drafts sometimes get a touch too creative, but they still end up pulling it out just because of the talent on those teams, on that team. And I think overall, like Prime has been the most consistent team at beating who's put in front of them. They don't deviate too much out of their drafts. You know what they're going to play, but it's up to you to stop them from playing it and popping off on it. So I really like this whole top six. Instinct falling to Femboys there. Note neither team was at full strength there, so that is a touch of an asterisk for me because I still have nothing but respect for Instinct. I also find it funny that the top three Group A teams are 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. If
So,
you notice, there's a
but
trend with the power rankings that I'm just noticing now. In the top six, you have the three Group A. In the next six, so the middle six there, but still playoff type teams, you have all, or there's three Group C teams in there. Um, and then you drop down to the next six, which is like on the fringe. You've got three Group B teams, and then if you go all the way to the bottom, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see three Group D teams. So
yeah,
make
don't
it
remind me.
make it make sense. It's actually pretty hilarious how that works out. But yeah, I mean that's your power rankings. I think this split. I think I've decided I'm gonna do a playoff power ranking after everybody's finalizing in the playoffs. I think that'll be fun, and then maybe we'll continue it through the playoffs. I don't see why it's bad to do up to probably finals week. Even top four, I could give you a power ranking. Finals, there's no point. There's no point to give you a power ranking. That's basically picking who's going to win at that point. Um, but yeah, I think I could do that. I think it'd be a fun time just to continue to mess around with it. It doesn't mean that much, right? We're just having fun with it. So maybe look out for that at the end of each episode for the playoffs. But that's it on power rankings. That's it on the regular season. One last thing I wanted to do to kind of showcase what we're going to be doing here for playoffs. Nothing has pretty much changed as far as the stuff you can check the rules for that. So for clarification, it is 12 teams. Four teams will get a bye. That's 1 through 4 seed. And then it's going to be single elimination with a total of 4 rounds, a wild card division. A wild card, a quarters, a semis, and a finals round. So those are our 4 rounds. Now, last split we had some people that didn't like that came to me and asked, could we find a way to maybe make playoffs, not have so many repeating matchups? So we're, as a mod team, just kind of come up with some ideas. I discussed them with the mod team as well as CLT. They like the idea of basically just trying to make it where we have A2 versus B3, for example. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put them in some sort of part of the bracket to make sure that then they don't play an A or B team in round two. So the idea is to have round one and round two specifically be different matchups before we get a possible repeating matchup in semis or finals. With that being said, let me preface this. This is very, very important for everybody before we go through that real quick. The important part is this. There are still going to be seedings 1 through 12, okay? And the reason why that's important is because even if your team ends up saying your seed 6 doesn't actually meet your seed 6, I get it. Don't shoot me in the comments. I know it's a little weird, but this is just, again, to avoid the repeating matchups. So we're going to have that done probably on the same sheet that we have the home and away on to show what are the proper seedings there so you know if you're getting side selection or not in your playoff matchup without any weirdness. I think that'll only probably take place in round two round three if it does happen. Otherwise, realistically, your first 2 rounds you should really know who's getting side selection here. That really shouldn't be complicated because the 2 seeds are all going to play the 3 seeds here for the first round, and then the second round will be all the 1 seeds against either a 2 seed or a 3 seed from the group. So that's pretty obvious. Okay, guys, I don't think that's the hard part. Hard part will be later if it happens, but it probably won't. It's just in case. I want to preface that so everyone understands, and that is decided by the match record or strength of schedule, depending on how it pans out. But that's how we were deciding that. Shouldn't be any issues there. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, to CLT, or to whomever, and we will answer any questions you have on seeding. So, with that said, I'm going to pull this little picker wheel up. As you can see all of the seeds here. So I don't know the teams. I just know the seeds. So this is done completely at random. A2, A3, B2, B3, C2, C3, D2, D3. Obviously stands for Group A, 2 seed, Group A, 3 seed, and so on and so forth. Okay? And so, CLT, can you screen share for me so I don't mess this up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, screen share your little thing. So CLT is going to send me this at the end once I do this really, really quick. He's got a really cool bracket set up. It's not on Battlefy. It'll be here just so we can use this as a representation then when we finally have the seating ready to go for Battlefy. But yes, so the Group A is the uh. Hold on, is that correct? Something got swapped around here, CLT. CLT is messing me up, I think. Hold up, hold up. So CLT, can you fix this for me real quick? Group A should be the 4th seed. And let's see. Yep, that's.
A and C, B and D, correct?
I don't move anything else. I think everything else is good.
Okay.
Yep, everything else is good. Okay, I just need to make sure he had that correct. So when he sends it to me, it's not wrong on this. But so for clarification, Group B is the 1 seed. Group D is the 2 seed. Group 3 is the. This is obviously the seed 1's clarified, right? Group C is the 3rd seed, and Group A is the 4th seed. All right? So we'll send them to. We'll have this up here in a second, but let's do this wheel because I don't want to complicate it anymore. It'll be easier once you guys can visualize it. But I want to show you guys this is 100% at random, so I'm not cheating anybody out of anything here. All right? So let's go ahead and give it a good old spin here. So that is going to be the A3 that gets selected first. So that means that
will go to.
Yeah, let us know. You tell us.
That will go to the 8-9 matchup, correct? I just want to make sure I'm following your vision here on this.
Yeah, I can look at it too as you're going through. Guys, I know it's going to sound so wonky until you see it. Yes, that is perfectly fine because they will be playing a Group B in round 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Should go the first available, so that makes sense. Yeah, first available. All right, so now that's going to be B3 selected. So that means B3 can't play against the A3, right? So we have to go down from there.
Well, that was B what?
B3.
B3. Okay.
Yes. So
and
they can play a Group A team. So that should be allowed, right? Are you gonna? I swear it should.
I'm sorry. No. There we go. Correct?
No,
No.
not correct. No.
So
A should stay at the 9, and Group B should go to the 12.
12. Okay.
Yes.
I got you now. I think I see. I'm following this.
He sees it now. You guys are gonna see this all once he's done and completed it, guys. I'm sorry if it's like confusing. Please don't get mad at me. I'm doing the best I can with what I'm kind of given here to kind of accommodate people and make it a better and more exciting playoffs because everybody's like, I want to play someone different. So we get that. So A should go up to the 9 though because they're the seed 3. So they should be the lower seed regardless, right? There you go. Perfect. Okay. We're getting on track. CLT is figuring out. We're figuring it out. If we run it like this again, if you guys don't like this, we don't have to do this again. If you do, we'll try to find a way to make it cleaner as we go. This is something new I'm trying out. All right.
We've never had 4 groups before. So.
Yeah, that also helps, dude. D3. Why are all the freaking 3rd seeds getting selected first?
So, D, C, 3, which means
no, they should go down to the first available, which would be the 11. The 11th spot.
The 11,
Yep, because they would be against C in round 2. All right. Let's roll it up. I feel like at this point we're just going to get C3, right? It was C2 that got selected.
Group C?
Wait, I think I might have messed up. Hold on. Did I take something out on accident? Oh, I took B2 out on accident. I gotta re-roll. You guys saw, right? I hope everyone saw. I took B2 out, and it was not supposed to be out. All right, I gotta re-roll. I'm not cheesing. You saw it. You saw it live on this thing. I fucked up, and I clicked the wrong one. Because it only should be 3 seeds that are out right now. All right? Let me not fuck this up again. I don't want to fuck up the roll here. I don't know how I accidentally checkmarked it, but
It's all good.
yeah, it's all good. I don't think I'll yell out in the chat. All right, it's A2. A2 is what is selected.
A2, which should go against Group D seed 3 at number 6, correct?
Uh, they can be no. They should go in the first available, which would technically be seed 5. Because they no, they can't. No, you're right. Never mind.
So
Yeah,
they
you're
would
right.
go
No,
to
they would
no.
go where you said. No, you're right. I'm sorry. No, they would go to the 6. You're right. The 6.
Yep.
Yep. I had to look at it myself because that way it was like, wait, they can't play a Group A team. They would be doing that if we put them at the 5 because then they'd go to round 2 against an A. All right.
I see the vision, and I actually see how this is probably going to finalize, but let's keep rolling.
Yeah. There probably shouldn't be much differences coming up soon. Like we'll probably be to auto seed the rest very shortly.
Mm,
But yes, it's going to be B2 going next.
okay. Group B seed 2, and they're going to go
I
to
think
the
we.
7th.
Yeah, they have to go to the 7th. You are correct.
Yes.
Yep. There we go. All right. I think this last roll should pretty much solidify all we need, but we could roll again for fun if you all want. I guess no one's
Yep.
really watching it live, so I guess we could do what we want. But it is C3 that got selected, CLT. C3.
Okay. C3, which is the last 3 seed remaining, will have to go to 10.
There you go.
Group C seed 3.
So that leaves us only 2 options left. I don't think we have to roll. That is going to leave CLT D2 and C2.
So Group C seed 2
Mm-hmm.
will face A3 seed, and the winner will get the Group 1B seed. So that way all 3 groups are represented here. We will not get a repeat matchup until quarters.
Yep.
And then this is Group um,
D2.
B, Bravo.
No,
No,
D,
D.
D, D, D. Yes.
Yep, Delta. Got it, got it, got it.
Awesome. Can you now send this to me by chance?
Yes, I can.
Okay. He's going to send it real quick.
Hmm.
And then I'm going to show it live on stream so you guys can see it. And I can post this too if you guys want somewhere. I really don't mind. But this is what it's going to look like once I
Alright.
get it. Just give him a second to get this done with. But yeah, guys, while he's doing that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who watches the show, and thank you everybody for coming out. And
There you go. It was sent in Discord, good sir.
okay, cool. I want to bring it up. Here we go, guys. Perfect. So now you can see the vision, and you can see how that's going to line up. So once I have the final seedings, which I do not have, again, I will show you the actual 1 through 12 properly. It will differ slightly for these 8 on the left. It will not differ for anything on the right, and that's more for further on in the playoffs, guys. I have to preface that too. It's not going to matter so
Wait,
much for the first
wait.
round. Would you mess something up?
Yeah, look at that. You got the Group D seeds facing each other at 11 and 6, and all 3 Group A seeds are on top bracket.
How did
So
I?
I
How
messed
did?
up somewhere.
Yeah, he messed up. Okay, never mind. CLT messed up. Where'd you mess up?
What did I do?
Oh, I see what you did. It was just supposed to be D and in the 9 spot, and then C in the 6 spot. That's it. You just gotta swap those.
So
All right, never mind, guys. CLT
6,
messed up. I messed up not catching it.
9.
Hold on.
Okay, wait a sec.
No, it should be fine. If you move Group D seed 2 to the ninth seed spot and Group.
Okay.
Well, they should swap seeds for clarification. It should be a C2 should be higher than right. Like you should swap that. But the point is, C2 will move down. Group C C2 will move down to the 6. Group D C2 will move to the 8. Group A C3 will move to the 9. It should be set like that.
Mm, A3 at 9, D seed 2 at 8,
And C C2 at 6.
Seed C2 at 6. Okay, that's what I got. B, A, D, A, B.
All right, he's gonna resend it again. Apologies, everybody. We're
Still group A seeds are all on one side.
No, the A seats are fine.
What do you have as the A seeds? I've got 9,
Oh
5, and
yeah, it is
4.
messed up. How did that get messed up?
Ugh.
Where did that even get messed up? Cause I swore it should have been. Well, now it's all messed up, guys. Now we gotta redo it. Cause I actually don't
All
know
right,
what happened.
let's redo it. Let's redo it. I'd rather redo it and
Okay.
save integrity than
All right.
not do it at all.
Okay.
So
We'll
hold
redo
on
it.
just a sec. No, I think I'm the one that I'm gonna go back and listen to this the moment you put this on YouTube and be like, where the f
You were on the right idea, though. You were on the right idea.
Okay. BACD. All right. Let me. Are you still screen watching? Good with this. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna sprint
First
this.
split. First split for me.
Yeah, we're trying new things. Let me watch this live. Make sure it doesn't get messed up again. Okay, we're gonna rerun it all through again because something got messed up, guys. Will we keep to the trend? No, we won't. It'll be C2. C2. Okay. So C2 should go to the first available that isn't something where they'll play in the next round. Okay. So that means they can play the B seed here. They can play the B seed. So you can put them as the 8. C2 as the 8. Perfect. All right, we're gonna do this together. Very slow. They're gonna watch this live and laugh at our goofiness.
Well, they're laughing at my misery.
A3. Okay. A3. Now let me
3.
let me look with you once again. Okay. So that means they can play in that number 9 spot because they'd be against a B team in the next round.
Correct.
Perfect. All right, we're off to a good start. Look at that. It's
My bad.
flowing. It's flowing. We're doing work here. Okay. All right, now it's a C3.
The group C. 3.
Yes, C3. Group C3. Yes.
Okay. Well,
So,
they can go at 10.
well, no, they can go at AC too. No, would that mess anything up or no?
What seed?
Number 12. Can they not go at number 12?
Uh, yes, they can go at 12.
Okay, then that's where they should go because that's the first available.
Group C, seed 3. Sorry. Okay, there we go.
Perfect. Well, one more time here.
I already see where I fucked up.
This is turning into a 3-hour episode.
This is
Again.
turning into just me murdering myself internally.
D3. A D3. I like it.
D3 will have to go to 11.
Yes. Okay. What is up next? It looks like it's going to be B2. B2.
Bravo 2.
Bravo 2. Maybe you misheard me and I said B and you thought I heard D or something. That could be what it was.
Bravo 2 can go to the 5th seed, is what I'm seeing.
Yes, there should be no problem with that at all. They'd play a C and then they'd play an A. Well, that's if they won, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, things are coming out okay right now.
Well,
B3.
Bravo 3, which will have to go at 10.
Okay, now we only have 2 left. If they're not working, that's a problem. We have A2 and D2 left.
Okay. Well, D2 cannot go at 7 because they could see groups D1, so they would have to go to 6.
But they can't go at 6 because they play D. Ah, I see where the mess up's happening. So this is harder than I thought it was going to be. How did it mess up so much? I guess you can't have. I guess you have to have seeded them down, is what I'm seeing.
So
So,
a
like,
group
probably you'd
group
have to move.
group B seed 2 down to 6.
No, because we have C2 and D2 left. You got to move one of the C's. If you move one of the
Yeah.
C's, it solves it. So, guys, I think we've learned our problem. The next available should probably just be like the next available, as in can't be the same side of the same bracket, basically. So if you're
Well,
watching,
I have
we just learned. No, I think
I,
that's the issue. So
I
like,
have a much greater respect when they do this on Worlds or LCS now.
yes, they kind of know what they're doing better. I see what it is.
Yes.
So basically, what it is when the next available should have been like for the C teams. Is let's say seed 2 got selected first. Seed 3 should have then automatically dropped down to the D side of the bracket on the bottom. That's what it should have happened.
So
So you got to
what do we
move.
got here?
So you actually have. We only have two twos left. So what you can do is you can move seed 2 uh down to 7. That would be a C versus B versus D, and then you can put the uh D2.
A2 would go into 6.
Yeah, A2 would go into 6, and then D2 would go into 8. Well, guys, we did our best to do it perfectly. We messed it up a little bit, but I think this is as fair as fair as we're gonna get it without doing it a fucking third time. So please bear with us. We're trying.
I have a much greater respect for the
Yeah,
LCS figuring shit
we
out.
we
'Cause
I
holy
think we
cow.
grasp it better for next split now. Like I think I get it more.
That's true.
If you guys want to
I th
continue this, like we're just trying to make it more fun playoffs, like you guys asked. Like y'all don't want to repeat matchup against each other. You guys want something different. So that's all we're trying to give you guys. So send that to me real quick again. I'll put it up on stream, and then we can end the episode there.
All
So
right. I'm just triple checking it because I don't want to do it again. Uh, AD faces B. Yes, in this setup, there is no intergroup repeat matchups until
semifinals.
quarterfinals.
No, semifinals. Are you questioning yourself?
No,
Okay.
no. I'm just gonna save this and have you look at it
Okay. I I,
'cause
I, I was looking at
I,
it. It should be good.
I don't think there can be any setup that doesn't stop it from happening in quarters.
What do you mean? It's already set up like that. C and B will play a D. D and A will play a C. B and C will play an A, and A and D will play a B. The
Yeah,
second
but then the
this
second round there will be no intergroup matchups. But the third round,
that's
which is quarters,
semifinals. That's semifinals. You were saying
that's
quarterfinals.
quarters.
No.
No, it's quarters. Semifinals is 4 teams left.
No, it's not. Like no, semifinals is 4 teams left, but like no, it's not like what you're saying prior to, bro. That the one you're talking about, unless you set up a 16 team bracket and then tell me, which I don't think you
No, there's
did.
only 12.
Okay, if there's only 12, the first round is wild card, the second round is quarters, the third round is semis, and the last round is finals. Look at your arrows. You're confusing yourself.
Okay.
All right, you send it to me? I think you did,
Yes.
right? All right, cool. Man, this guy is confusing himself now too. All right, here you guys go. Here it is. This is the bracket. Not messed up anymore. We did our best. Sorry. If you guys got questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, I think me and Clt are gonna end it there. So thank you guys again for coming out and watching for the second time. I will say my epilogue. We will see you guys throughout the rest of the weekend for All Stars, for tiebreakers, and maybe a live show next week. Maybe. We'll see. We'll discuss it. But let's get through this weekend first. Playoff brackets will be up Sunday night. That means you guys will have Monday through Sunday to play, um, and we'll be good to go. So, shouldn't be any issues, I hope. Let me know if there is. Give us a chat, give us a call, give us a message. Anything from you, CLT?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. He is good. All right. Thank you guys all again. Talk to you soon. GG.